the pillar to work with. Controls the angle, but goes without utility. Again, they've been doing so well with it. He wanted information, he just wanted to peek and see where they were. That puts pressure on Nex, he finds two. Two is arguably enough, but bomb is gonna go down and Simple has an AK. They both have armor. Mentioned Simple over Zeus, perhaps wrongly, because Zeus is another one yesterday who had an incredible resurgence to form.
Yeah, against Astralis, 30 kills, see what he can do here. 2-on-2 now, there is a kit available but no utility at all for these CTs, and Simple, so difficult to shut down. He'll get the first frag, my God, he's good! Two of them with the AK come in. That's 4 kills in total for Simple, the absolute star on the server right now, 5-4 as they take back the lead. Money now reversed, that's big. Now we're looking down the barrel of a Force Spies. Godby purchases the M4 first. He's been doing this a lot. He'll buy an M4, and his teammates will buy absolutely nothing. That's exactly what we call the tactical purchase. It's Stranger, he's the one who primarily does it, considering he's got some great stars around him, with Tapson, Nex, and even Smooya in some regards with the rifle that could do that role instead of him. But he has had a good tournament, and Simple does take him down. That rifle is thrown away. Can they recover it? I'm not sure. It looks like they will. Okay, Nex does manage to grab it. He's got no armor though.
Zeus immediately didn't dispose of Tapson. Locked off, no way back. Still the CT-sided map, so NaVi in a great position early on. Thrown flash, accepting the fact that we either would have wanted it to bloom a little bit shy of that mark or bounce off the wall and come back because it didn't cover off the corner at the end of the hall. Electronic and Flamey will shut down the rest in easy fashion at that point with that weapon, so it's 6-4. Big, they're not, again, this is the problem with the CT side. There's no additional income aside from the bonus. You can't plant a bomb and get 800 for everyone. You've got to sit back and be patient. As such, there's no AWPs. Smooya still has other ideas. He's gone toward a Deagle.
He certainly has. We'll have a look at this cash with this third stage loss bonus coming in. That might be an overcommitment in terms of the investment. He's only got 2,300 now. Obviously needs a bit more. He's been running the glass cannon 2 or 3 times at this point. As we get to round number 11 here, last few rounds of the first half, Deagle and USPs. There'll be plenty of tactical timeouts here. Here's Lagia, former player of Big, stepped down to be coach now to assist Godby. Godby always said that Lagia understood his system. They worked well together, but he's fragging towards the end of his tenure when the team was dropping on significantly. They needed more firepower, and that's why they brought in Smooya, and my God, has it worked. In the grand final of ESL 1 Cologne. Coming into this, you would have seeded them as one of the absolute lowest teams, and they've bested some huge names. MIBR, G2, and of course, FaZe.
Yeah. $1 million denial in many ways. Still a chance FaZe can complete the Grand Slam at DreamHack Stockholm. Good play from Nex as they run the pistols out to water, and Tapson's gonna find a gun with time to bring it into his hands. That Zeus down, bomb included, and he's not done there! Complicated takes down Simple as they push all the way through with pistols on an upgrade, and now it's Edward left in a 1 versus 4.
Unbelievable scenes. Tapson single-handedly decimates them. Edward surely doesn't even have a shout within this one. They'll be going towards long. The bomb's all the way down that connector though. I just think NaVi assumed that was going to be quite a simple round for them as they decided to push through. And there's Tapson. Nice flash, pushes over and manages to get the AK-47. This goes absolutely nuts with it. So Edward, with the 50 seconds remaining, you can see on the top left of your screen, the CT's just sat around the bomb, making sure that no one will get near it. And Edward just hoping as players out of position here. Can you maybe do something with this? Time ticking away now.
Huge recovery from Big. This will give them the 5th round, but not only that, we just mentioned it, the economy tough to build back into. You're just gifted, not only at this point 2 AKs, I say at this point, not done yet, but also the AWP. Thompson will hold on to that for now. I think this is how it ends. Edward has no interest in going any further. He wants to keep the AK for himself. Doesn't mean he gets any money, but he'll hold the weapon. The rest will be able to buy on the NaVi side. 1 round between them yet again.
Fantastic stuff there from Tapson. A round where it looked like they had nothing more than just some upgraded pistols, but they have been very good at those rounds throughout the tournament. That's what you're going to need if you're going to take down a team like NaVi here in a brutal best-of-5 affair. Round 12 coming through as the money reversed once again. Luckily, NaVi did have residual cash there, so they do have one more buy available. Simple back on the AWP, 6-5. And here's where it all went wrong. As soon as he got the AK in his hands, the star of Big goes to town, taking down Zeus and Simple. You can see frustration. Getting to young Sasha there. Smooya now, holding the bathrooms. Hasn't been hyper-aggressive. I guess he doesn't have to be. He knows against Simple. Wants to let them play themselves. You can see NaVi are presenting a slightly different game. Not trying to telegraph any of their plays, but there it is. Flashback towards Short. Next was trying to get information, and he's taken down. A little bit of damage towards Flaming, but that's about it. Are they going to try and recover this with a reaction? It looks like a potential boost will be coming in.
Yeah, Flash maybe to put them out of position to get the boost up safely. That's noise made, though. Electronic is wise to it. Back over toward Fountain. Bombs in that direction, so too is 4 of the 5 NaVi players, including Simple with the AWP. Seemingly he wants to take the fight. He's going against Smooya. This is what we've been waiting for. Won't be him to make first contact, potentially. I thought giving the bomb away would indicate he wanted to take the shot. Checking every angle. Eventually he's got to spot something. Fires immediately on the shoulder bait. Gets away. Didn't hold his nerve to hold the angle as Electronic finds Tabson. Opens up more space toward Long as well. Smooya's put a smoke out on bathrooms that might, at least he hopes, might suggest he's gone back to the site. He can catch them off, but playing close, already scoped in, doesn't want to make noise, tries to look at the wall, anticipating flashes. There are some being thrown by his teammates, and he's going to take the initiative to go out because of that. This time he does hold. He knows they're still out there and set up. He's not made any noise at all, but he's got to find them. He thinks they've gone through the smoke. He's got his back exposed. If he steps out too far, he could still deny the bomb, though. Oh, no, he can't. Excuse me. Zeus is just far enough in beside the truck. Somehow he's not yet been spotted. Because there is a player immediately behind him. Flamey's got it, but there was a player holding near the wall. It's Electronic. They never knew he was there because he was so fixed upon the connector rotation that they were back-to-back and both thought it was clear. Therefore, Tizian can't go any further. Round is going to go the way of NaVi. 7-5. Matter of the gun at this point for Tizian.
Absolutely true. It's Electronic with 2 frags in the round. Edward can hear Tizian coming. This is a guaranteed kill for him. Clean sweep for NaVi in the end. Back and forth we go. It was Big that won the eco before, so they're absolutely fine to purchase in round number 13 here. We've got 63. We go. It was Big that won the eco before, so they're absolutely fine to purchase in round number 13 here. We've got 6,300 on Tizian, so they'll take the pause and just make sure they get this right. Next does have slightly less than everyone else at $2,100. Taps in 37. I think they will almost certainly buy. It's just to what extent and how they'll distribute the wealth accordingly. Simple. In terms of fragging right now, 8 and 6 at the very top though for NaVi. It's going to be Flamey with double digits, 10 and 7 for him. Tabson and Smooya, those are the names at the very top. They will have 10 kills each, so doing a good job in that respect. No one's significantly dropping off. Next is mid-table with 7 kills and 11 deaths there. So the unpause comes through. It looks like a potential eco. I thought they were going to be purchasing into it. There it is, the last minute decision with 5 seconds left on freeze time. They start purchasing up. The AWP comes out for Smooya, an MP7 for Tabson, CZ for Gobby, and then a couple of rifles for Tizzy and Nex. They've got no defuse kits and basic utility. We'll see if they want to change things up, and because they have such a disadvantage with the buy, maybe go for an aggressive pick here. Smooya dodges the grenades and goes for a quick scope through the smoke, of course, and decides to fall back.
Redouts along, gets by the rock. Flamey's balling with him, electronic as well, so this time not looking for map control, just looking for force. Smooya again playing short side by Bathrooms. No one, given the lesser weaponry, no one even considering long at this point in time, so probably are almost going to walk directly into the site. And Smooya's going to have a ton of pressure applied to him if that's the case, because if they sneak in long behind him, closes the angle, and he's forced to react. It's not like he's ready for it. He can't go back to long now either, because Simple's certainly holding off that angle. Crosses. He's made out one op shot and gets back across. That means he'll be able to hold from truck. Still the same problem. Gobby's got to rotate. Backstairs are going to be hard to get out of with utility. Throw him their direction. 48 seconds. Smooya can't land the first shot. That might make a massive difference. Does manage to make 2, getting Edward in return. Bomb not yet planted, but they'll pick him apart with nades. Further thrown that direction, and Flamey runs him down, but it exposes electronic in the process. Zeus spots Tabson just barely inside of the smoke.
Have you seen how basic the approach is from NaVi? They don't go for tactical executions whatsoever, and it seems to be working. Big Arm getting the cues they're used to, are seeing all the smokes come through as they drop theirs. They're getting straight up angels here, and they're not rising to the occasion on these important rounds. As we'll see 2 kills come in, and just Tizzy now has to fall back. It's Flamey with 2 frags, Electronic and Zeus helping him out at the same time. Luckily for Big though, Simple isn't having one of those games where he's just absolutely going off, so he's looking relatively contained for now. But they do give this round up. It's going to be 8-5 as Tizzy and desperately tries to hold on towards T-Spawn. He's got the M4A4 and 1 smoke. That's about it. You can see Zeus hunting for him right now. He might be able to do something about it, so it looks in the wrong direction. So Tizzy will save the M4, and he's going to need it. The next round has to be pretty much full eco. They've got around $2,000 per player, second stage loss bonus. Oh, that is quite sad, isn't it? He's at the opponent's corner.
Stacks was here at least.
That's true. So a little bit of representation.
Well, round 14. Tizzy and the only weapon so far for the CTs, and Zeus is aware of the situation. He's gone Mac 10 with armor. He'll try and run a gun against the other 4. Presuming he doesn't run into Tizzy at first. Sit back to Woodby and get boosted up to see into water. And toward B with Smooya holding off connector. To get an early call. If he goes down, they'll likely push back up the stairs, though, and never head this direction at all. I'm surprised Zeus leads the way. Next to the corner, a little bit of noise. Smooya beats him to the punch.
Where's the trade?
Go for the reload. You're right, there should have been a trade, because now it's a gun available to Smooya. He's going to swing back out. That allows him to open up the door, but they can't peek fast enough. Flamey's able to get the first kill in such a fashion. I was going to say that Tizzy won't get in place, but he has now, and he knows that he's weakened up. Edward in the corner. Still, they trip over each other. He gets 1 back. Next, somehow with just the back 10 that he's picked up, not one of the rifles, brings it down to just Simple. A chance again for Big to steal a round away as Simple goes hunting. As the AWP, so close quarters, he wants the Teagle instead.
NaVi not doing themselves any favors there. You're going through connector, you're not using any utility, you're not molotoving angles, you're not going together. That's just a really sloppy round from them, but luckily they have got the absolute best player in CSGO to pull off this 2 versus 1. Gobby with a default pistol, and he's got decent time, and he's got past Gobby undetected, at least for now. So he'll make his way towards A, presumably going to plant the backside, and then it becomes real difficult. But Big at that point, they have no kits. And Simple just clears out the area. No one's going to hear this plant coming through, but the smoke does go down. And here we go. Up against Simple is Nex and Gobby with an AK between them.
And how does he expect the arrival of Gobby? Because the fact that he never saw anyone toward A, you thought they stacked up, and that's why they were so powerful down below. He doesn't have anything to work with. He'll be the one that needs to search for the information and then let Nex try and go to work with the AK. But Simple's ready for both angles, seemingly playing the truck allows him to control it. Pistol damage, and it actually does distract, exactly what Nex wanted. 8-7, they're going to split the half. Well done from Big to pull things back into control as well, especially having lost track of the economy for a small period of time.
2 eco victories now for them, and NaVi almost handing them to it. It's pretty unbelievable the way they're approaching those rounds.
I say 8-7, excuse me. I thought it already jumped to 6 at the top, so 8-6, we're fine.
8-6, yeah, we've got one more round, and yeah, they really need to just be a little bit more methodical on their anti-ecos. While they're just walking at the tight choke points with an AK, with a single player, this really blows my mind. You saw how messy it got. If you Molotov, nade, flash that corner, go together, make sure you're trading out, and you've got some presence towards middle as well to pincer that position. It really shouldn't be that chaotic against the CZ, but they made a meal of it. Just one player took down Zeus, and then all hell broke loose. 8-6 now, as we get into the final round of the first half.
Be aggressive this time at Fountain. We've yet to see anyone play this position for big. Problem with it is that you have to watch the backside of the park. And Smooya was looking away for a moment, but let's look back to check it as Godby retreats, not having had anyone arrive. No need to stay up there for that long. It's a numbers game at that point. You're going to play that aggressively and stay there. That either they're all gathering around you, or more likely, although not the case in this particular occasion, that they're going to the other side of the map and you're well removed. So calculated, they'll fall back. Down a bathroom again, Smooya plays the short side. Intentionally dropped toward the disco, bounce flash, well thrown. Certainly has the angle right on that one, but Tapson spotted it coming. He was able to get his head down in water, holding for Electronic. I say holding, but he's holding the wrong thing. It's a smoke in his hand. There's Electronic, a free kill, free rite of passage, and they'll take control of construction. To retreat for the bomb so they can't continue a forward pressured stance from that position. He'll hold instead Electronic by himself to get information at B while Edward goes hunting toward A. Smooya has subsided back inside of the site. Watching in front of the bathrooms rather than the, okay, there we go, closed door. I was gonna say he might not spot Edward, timing everything. Now he realizes it and goes back as he jumped up. First kill success. Knows there's likely to be company, jumps again to find further information, but he's watching out for utility as Zeus absolutely destroys him over the small box.
That's a beautiful shot there from Zeus. 9 seconds, Godby can still deny this not anymore. It will be planted as he gives his position up. Going to be throwing a smoke. He anticipates another player in that position, but they're both towards the bathrooms right now. Another 2-on-2, and it's the final round of the half.
Tizian actually has a wall of smoke to get toward the bomb. I don't think he was aware of it. Flamey knows now, so he's going to get out and try and get on this before the smoke's fully dissolved. They'll hear him get on that defuse, but they're firing above it. Godby needs to swing out and protect him. He can't do it, but it doesn't matter! They never found him! In the smoke, now we get the 8-7, and they'll split the half down the middle.
NaVi have had some absolute howlers of rounds. They've given up way more than they had to. But there it is, big fighting back, tooth and nail there. It was Godby that got the one frag. He threw that smoke on top of the bomb. Tizian saw it, you spotted him. And as soon as he went for the full defuse, you can see the panic set in. They weren't exactly sure where the bomb was planted. They couldn't find him in the smoke. And that's not the half NaVi were looking for. They looked like they were pretty decent in the first few gun rounds, but so many mistakes made, so many positions not checked, so many utility pieces not used. It was a little bit disastrous at points, but still, they do have the lead. Going into the CT half, they will have 8 on the board, but big. They've been very good at pistol rounds throughout this tournament. They're gonna have a couple of smokes here. The Molotov at Tizian, and 2 flashbangs as well.
Just to go back to that too, I don't think Tizian knew he had that wall. I think Godby spotted it. When he threw the second smoke, he said, whoa, hang on, they're both at bathrooms, go.
Yep.
Get on it. And to make note of the 7 rounds that Big got, and to Utility's point, they were very good at their flash duels early on. They never really got the double op rolling with Tapson, which has been an instrumental part of their CT success. So to still get 7 rounds is promising, but it is NaVi that has the lead going to the favored side. And they've got the start in the pistol, but that's pulled back. Simple with 1 Tapson response to get Electronic.
1-4, Simple down to 7 HP here. In terms of the overall complexion of the rounds, Smooya investigating towards Shaw, but he might get a little bit more than he bargained for. Edward has spotted him crossing over. He'll be going in first. They are going to rotate back towards Monster. He might have the advantage here. Smooya gets a solo duel once again when 2 players are there. Luckily, Edward finally gets the trade out and maintains the man advantage here. He is alone. 64 HP as Next takes down Simple. That was the low HP player. Godby left in a 2 versus 1. He certainly has come out on top in a few of those this tournament, most notably against FaZe yesterday. Can't pull this one off and no plan comes through. As NaVi pick up the second half pistol here. Get into the anti-eco. I'd imagine they forced by considering he had no plant at that point. They do sometimes just get Deagles, no armor, and try and keep the money a little bit healthier. We'll see what they go for here. And There's only one rifle for NaVi. If the bomb had gone down, you probably expect to see a few more M4s, but this is fine. And as said, Big just getting P250, CZs, no armor or nades. So that could mean they're maybe planning something a little bit special for the next round. If they can get the bomb down, they still have the option to guide AKs into the third. That's a big if, though. Getting the bomb down with no armor, no nades is quite the task.
Absolutely. On a map like Overpass, it's not train where you can rush it into the B site. It's not like the bomb sites are super close to tight choke points. You could argue it's sandbags, but take a look that direction. I was going to say, an Edward so far forward, that's tough to get to. The fact that they get him down for free certainly creates the possibility. It also gives them an SMG to work with.
It can't be another full eco victory for Big, can it? They've had two already.
That's the remarkable fact, is that they've had two, and yet they're still down on the scoreboard. It just goes to show you that without those, it could be blown wide open. So yes, both teams have given opportunity. CT sided winning those. It saves any chance they had at bringing the half to a competitive level.
Here we are, all 5 players waiting to go towards the A-bomb site. It's Electronic, who's alone in the bathrooms, protected by the smoke for now. They have got the MP9 picked up. That was from Edward's court. He pushed towards short and found 3 players in the connector waiting for him. They seem to be aware of Electronic's position map. They could be coming around the corner and pre-firing this. He could be in a lot of trouble here. Simple rotates in to check how long. Has Electronic got a chance to stay alive? Looks like he will. Manages to get just the 1 frag for now, and the advantage almost might be going in favor of Big. They've got a rifle and a 3-on-2.
Zeus knows that they're likely already in toward the bank stairs, so he wants to get away from the stairs as quickly as possible so as not to be caught off by exactly that man. Smooya, good read, awareness, couldn't deny the bomb, but still does get the planter down, which gives them the chance to get on it immediately, and they'll do exactly that. NaVi will get away.
That was a little bit scary, wasn't it? They get the opening pick. Luckily, just the MP9 picked up. They managed to get towards A, and Matt, they get that plant down. So like we said, going into this round, if they can get the plant here, they do get AKs for the 3rd round. This was round number 2. So that's really boosted their chances now. That's perfectly played by Big. That round pretty much couldn't have gone any better for them. Obviously, could have won it, but consider the context of having just P250s, no armor, to get a full buy in the next round. You got 3 kills. That's amazing. They should have a firm advantage going into the next one.
Awkward run down from Zeus, but it's the 2nd shot that really cemented it.
Yeah, if he could deny the bomb there, that could have been enough. But still, he wins the round. MP7 for Edward, 4 M4A4, as you can see. As AK's come out in full force here, 10-7. Looking to answer back, but a decent grenade towards the big squad from Simple does do a lot of damage.
Toward long again this time. Bomb is the 3rd man back. By taps and Smooya checks out Panther connector. Simple has already decided to backwards toward A. Good little glance at what's going on at B shows us quite clearly there's 3 players over there. One of them has 3 HP. That's Flamey. Big starting to play that time game where they just put a little bit of pressure on one side of the map, start to force the defense to reconsider, and are hoping they can catch them in transition. It's not even really a fake, it's using the clock and a tiny amount of utility to not show anything. Try and bait out the CTs, which they've now done. They've got another smoke down toward Monster. No smokes left. Contact made on A. That might force a rotation, but they haven't left the site in B yet. In fact, this might be read by NaVi because the smoke at Monster still holds them off, and there's no further action, so Edward's going to be ready. Certainly for a fight. Whether or not he wins it, all pushing in with an SMG. Good nade, though, softens them up. The SMG can do massive damage. Thankfully, the one player not turned around, not blinded off is Goppy, and he holds with the AK because that could have been a slaughter as they've gotten through Monster. Tizian now toward the pillar will hold off. Look down, find Zeus, but can't find the angle. And Electronic to get the complimentary kill to bring it 2 versus 2 with 13 seconds. They won't be able to get to the bomb. Goppy has held Zeus off long enough, and Electronic will get both back in turn somehow immediately over the ramp.
Well, there we go. It was looking so scary there for NaVi, but Electronic steps up. Again, Edward caught in a compromised position, go for the aggressive plays with the SMG, pushes through a smoke with a flashbang from his teammate. You can see how discombobulated he was when he finally got out of there. I don't think that was a play that was really required. I guess he saw the timer on 20 seconds and he thought maybe they're setting up for an execution here. I'll get some information, take one of them down, but almost gave them an absolute entry in towards the site. An entry kill without even pushing in, that's not too bad at all, but Electronic, he's been absolutely sensational the last month for NaVi, and that round is no different. He saves them completely with a 4K towards the B bomb site. It is going to be round number 19, of course. The CZ's coming out, and a partial buy overall from Big. They have got Kevlar and some bare bones utility as well. Edward keeps wanting to apply the pressure here, man. He goes down again. He's got to stop doing this. Okay, that's got to be it now. Stop pushing every single round.
Caught with SMGs, caught with rifles. Going down to pistols in each occasion. Now that rifle holds in the hands of Tizian, but he's now the only one left. As Simple finds the angle, Tizian does get Flamey back, so something to work for, something to pull out economy. Yet to win a round on this T side so far for Big, this being the first gun round. Likely we head to 12 rounds for NaVi. Don't forget Dust 2 comes up next. That's where Big's had the majority of their success in this event. Simple holding off the backside for the rotation the other direction. Should be able to pick up a clean and easy kill. Spots the gun. Oh, is he going to? Oh, he doesn't get the opportunity, but he absolutely would have loved to have done that just for the sake of silencing everyone.
He even had 10 HP, Simple. Didn't want to go for the guaranteed kill to take him down. Let's just try and get a knife. Could have fallen apart, but of course, it's Simple. He pulls it off, and we get to round number 20 here. It's going to be another buy available for Big. And again, I really feel like Edward does need to calm down a little bit there. He's getting caught out in the last 3 rounds due to aggressive pushes, mainly towards shorts. AK's out for Big, though. No AWP available. That's absolutely fine. Smooya is a competent rifler as well. Up against this Simple AWP, that of course gives him a bit more freedom. Not having another AWP to go up against. Nades towards the T steps for now. Nothing connecting as of yet. And Tizian looking for the first pick once more. Can they take down Edward again? Could be the case. A little bit of damage there towards him. Just one bullet connects, so they have to drop a smoke to push Tizian back.
Still, though, he's at the cubby. As we often talk about as an integral part to hold. Gives you the B option later on. Not as integral as Banana, but similar approach, right? You get one player there, he's able to hold off, get rotations, or at least figure out the rotations based on what he hears. He can hold utility and try and keep them contained on that side of the map. The only reason I say it's a little bit different is that it doesn't open up as much opportunity because it's not as close to the point of contest to the site. Simple to Smooya. Couldn't land it. Good movement mechanics by Smooya in the air. In fact, did take damage from it, but only through the edge of the wall.
Towards B they go. Taps in and got B. This is what you call a contact play. Nothing too technical in terms of the execution, but nothing but perfection when going for the shots. Taps in and got B. Crack open the sights. And that should be the round. CT's got no chance of this one whatsoever. They spotted some weaknesses towards the B bomb site. It will be Edward and Flamey to go down with absolutely nothing done. And that's the beauty sometimes of the contact play. It's not telegraphed at all what you're doing. If you spot a choke point like Monsters not being covered efficiently like that, they're playing a very passive setup, you can come through and get out of the tight area and manage to demonstrate some aim there. Timed it to perfection. As soon as the CTs are falling back, that's when they walk through and found both the kills, bomb down. And as we said, NaVi have no chance, and they have to just save up here. Zeus has the AWP because he was low, and a couple of AKs going to be saved here at the same time. You can see the money not great at all for the CT side, so this makes a lot of sense. You've got a huge lead at the moment, no point to throw it away and try and go for impossible retakes. Save the cash, take it to the next round, but there it is, Big with their first round in the second half here. It's currently 4-1 in this half and 12-8 overall in favor of NaVi. A big face paint going on here today.
Yeah, I think they've won over a lot of people. Again, sure, they're the home team and there's always going to be support for them, but expectations weren't exactly what they are now. And the first game we casted them in this arena in the quarterfinal, even then I wasn't overwhelmed by the crowd support. Nothing against the crowd here, but now it's changed. Now it's very obvious that they are fully behind this team. Just to note of the scoreboard, Flamey and Electronic lead the way on 18 apiece. Not too many people at the bottom end of it, just Tizian and Gobby that are still in single digits. Everyone else is pretty close.
Absolutely. Good to see. Smooya performing well on the stage again. 16 frags for him. The tactical timeout comes through. It was the CTs that are a little bit worse for wear after losing that previous round. Did save the AWP though. And are we going to see this Smooya Simple battle continue? Not quite. Smooya will be back to the AK-47 as we get into round 21 here. Simple this time heading towards the B bomb side, not towards middle. And I guess it's because they've said they're doing contact plays towards B. He wants to go over there and challenge that and make sure they can't just walk into the site. Maybe scare them off for a few rounds, the fact that Simple could be there. And he really is looking for the first kill. Spots the legs of one. I'm not sure Tizian is away. He has been spotted, but the flash is decent. Simple, what a shot that is. My goodness. Minimum room for error there, and he just pulls it off perfectly.
Just to notice when we go back, when we get a little bit of time to discuss it, the utility usage in flashes yesterday, Gabi was way above everyone else. It was actually Zeus that led the way and continues to by a margin of 1, but in the first half he had 5 more flashes that were effective than even Gabi.
Wow, yeah, Gabi's been
double in-game leader.
He's got like 30 yesterday. One of the maps was unbelievable. As we get into Smooya play, he's going to be going towards the A bomb site alone for now. Smoke towards the bathrooms to hold him off, and he's got Simple waiting on the other. Is unraveling because he doesn't know Smooya is in a close range position. Smooya is the utility being thrown now. Simple though. But he doesn't know where players are. He's still incredibly fast.
Yeah. He spotted the gun barrel. I think he saw it when he jumped because you can see when he landed, he immediately switched his focus to get ready to peek. Next does get him back, however, so this still creates possibility. As Molotovs go out to the stairs, but Incendiary's thrown in return. They don't really do much to account for Tabson's angle, though, do they?
Not much. And they're going to fall back towards the B side. This could be a huge call. Try not to say big too much, man.
I know, it's tough.
I have to stop myself. And it's going to be playing.
It's not an adjective I use very often.
And it looks like it's not possible, if I'm honest. They've smoked out of the B sides, and all Flamey has to do is get one kill here. And Edward luckily gets it for him. That's going to be the end of the round because there's no plan possible now. Tabson just has to stay alive. Frustrating finish for them. It was actually looking pretty decent with the map control they had. But the last minute call to go back towards B, they're going to taste it or a medicine there. The last second smoke being deployed towards shore completely blocks them out of the round. I think when you see that smoke, you pretty much have to bail out. He said, let's just keep the weapons up.
This is a game, I think, more than any other, well, I don't say more than any other, but more than some of the recent ones that NaVi have had. Look, you talk about going to Gambit, winning the major, he comes back over, they set it on the desk, and NaVi, after ups and downs, finally find themselves back in a final. Zeus is going to be tested going against the leader like Gabi because this is going to be a mind game throughout, which is why the utility has to be something you monitor the whole series, whether it goes 3 maps or 5, it's going to be a factor.
They're quite similar in terms of their play styles, both very slow, methodical, love executions, as Simple continues to apply pressure here, takes down one of the key players of the big side with the AWP, that's Tabson. Completely removed at the beginning of the round. Electronics looking sharp as well. You have to walk in towards the B side, hope for the best here, boys. Edward has been weak on this side of the map. Maybe if they can get 2 opening picks again, they'll be absolutely fine. There's the first, and Flamey to defend him.
Simple still has range with the AWP. Can't hit the shot immediately on the site, but Flamey now knows they're there. In turn, they know he's there, and next goes by! What a recovery to find Zeus peeking out immediately after as well. And Tizian never left the ramp, which means he can still spot toward the window. Simple on 15, and they'll be smoked off. He cannot get aggressive with the AWP, but the bomb now goes down. That changes things. It's still into a one-on-one as Tizian reads Electronic trying to pounce upon the drop bomb. Does Simple have the read that it's there?
Oh my goodness. players with 45 seconds as well. Huge advantage for Tizian. He could suggest he's gone towards A. Simple, such low HP, can't even commit to a peek to get information here. He's holding a tight angle, he's hoping. And Tizian plays himself and walks into his crosshair. 30 seconds. Tizian doesn't really have time to fall back towards A at this point. He's committed towards B, and he is going to plant. That's the cue for Simple to start making his way in.
Simple's heard it. He played it so he couldn't go anywhere with the long way around. He's looking for the angle, desperately getting closer. Tizian with one shot toward the window has given up. He has gone to the left side. Oh my, that gun shows. Simple can't land it when he peeks, and he's lost track of him. He thinks he's going forward, which means Tizian has a wide open shot.
So much pressure. A lot of these players haven't even been on the big stage before, and Tizian holds his nerve against one of the world's best there. 1 versus 1. Plants the bomb, and it patiently waits around. He was actually spotted twice there, but Simple couldn't find the shot, and that is massive for them, because now the money is completely shattered for NaVi. That round pretty much would have secured the map for them. That was going to be it. You can see what it means. For taps in that, right in the middle. Presumably the full eco comes in, and it's going to be a tactical timeout. I think you're going to see a lot of these in this best of 5. Both teams very fond of them and having chats. Obviously, you get your coach involved, and you can discuss your options here. 2 players are able to buy NaVi. That's going to be Zeus and Simple. They can even get an orb for him if they wanted to make a huge commitment there. Money is low for big as well. They know they can win this round somehow. That's pretty much it. They'll have 14-9 and completely destroy their money in turn, but that's a pretty big ask. Doesn't look like they'll go for the all-in investment. They're just going to get some CZs here, P250s.
Aggressive stance to the bathrooms. Pistols burrowing behind rocks. Off the angle to see that they won't push any further as NaVi gets information and successfully does so. Doesn't even take any damage. Must win round for big. Can't afford to give up to these pistols anything at all as they want to build their economy back into it and close down the gap. Give this to 14 rounds and it's, I'm going to say, over at that point because their economy goes out the window in the process.
Just the CZs, you can see Big playing these rounds a lot more differently than what NaVi did. They were walking into tight choke points by themselves, and Big are making sure they've got everyone there and no one can go down to a single pistol. As they flash over, they can finish this correctly, but Edwards does get one, taps in over the instant reply.
Don't even.
This could get a little bit uncomfortable for them. They have lost the man advantage, but surely going to recover that frag.
Yeah, SMG's just fine. Even if we went for that AK, it could have cost them. They do pull it back, as you say, to 3-on-3. And Tizian has snuck up. Edward trying to read it where he's there. Couldn't find the shot. And it's Tizian to start off toward the sandbags as well. Simple with the deagle. Molotov won't even come close to him. Flash certainly will, but he's fine. He'll keep his head down. Doesn't need to move yet. Speaking of heads, off goes Tizian's. Simple to go back out. Oh, if he swung a little bit further, he might have had another one. Spots the player with sandbags, but knows there's one up close to his left. And that's enough to distract him, enough to allow Smooya in, and they will control it. 10-13.
One thing that has to be said about the big squad, Matt, is they have been the kings of comebacks in this tournament. It looked like yesterday against FaZe and Dust 2, it was all over. They couldn't do anything on the map, but out of nowhere, they did win an eco, and they managed to string together so many rounds and managed to take it to overtime. They did lose the map eventually, but still, it was pretty fantastic to watch. And this one feels similar. They were 4-0 down, but they managed to stable things somewhat with 5-3 scoreline in the second half. And money, still not ideal for NaVi. They'll take another timeout to discuss their options here. 13-10 in their favor. So they can afford another partial, but they wanted to is make sure they have absolutely everything. Maybe they want to try and get towards a double orb setup. The only problem right now is Zeus has $3,900. At the very top is Simple with 64. So enough to get an orb out and maybe one player on an SMG, but is that enough for what they want to do?
Utility is such a factor in this game that Edward's monitor has actually just stopped working. There's been so many smokes and flashes inside of it, so they'll do a very, very fast monitor swap on the stage and we'll get back underway. Technical timeouts. Best of fives when you and I are casting, Henry, have always gone the distance.
They really have. They are long, grueling affairs. 5 maps available. It really is the test of who can hold their nerve. It's exhausting, and it's a high-pressure environment. It's mentally draining. But yes, most of the time they do go to all 5, and the quality of play in terms of how efficient people can be and how precisely Avis does drop off towards the end, but that only leads to amazing moments and crazy clutches and some very special 5th maps, which is normally Inferno. But round number 24, like you said, a monitor being switched out. Hopefully won't take too long.
I think it's already issues. Yeah, I think it's already done. As I said it, they'd already had the second one on the stand. They just popped it clean off the mounts, threw another panel on, and then plugged it in. So I'll just do a quick check, I'm sure. Adjusted it back to his height. Taps in, enjoying the moment.
Absolutely. Take this time to rile the crowd up. Tabson currently on 15 kills. Top still is Smoothie of 18 next with 17. So Zeus is just fiddling with the last few settings now to make sure everything is working. He's got his sound on. Looks like we might be almost ready to go. 13-10, big on the comeback, but they are on the team side on Overpass.
This point, though, having forced the money into the situation that we find ourselves in, their simple will be fine. I glance all the way down to make sure everyone's headsets are on before I say too much. They are, so I can tell you that yes, the simple is fine to bring out the AWP. Everyone can see it on the screen in the arena, so too at home, but it's make or break again, CT side. Yeah. So if they're able to pick this up for big and they go to 11, there is a chance they can pull this back. Likewise with NaVi, it's 1 round at a time at this point, and if they get to 14 now, I pretty much take the chance out of it completely, but I can still be proven wrong. I just think that it would be a really tall order for big at that point. They have to win this economically. Same way they did to FaZe yesterday, in fact.
So Big have taken a tactical timeout after the technical. The reason for that being you can't talk in the technical pauses, so they just want to discuss their options here. It's coming to the very last few rounds potentially. As you can see, some of the replays here of the P250 work from Smooya. Nice stuff to win in that previous round. Round 24, and the biders come in. Simple has got the AWP. Zeus is the only player that had low money. He'll be down to just that UMP. They've got no kits right now. They cannot afford one either. Diffuse gets quite dear in this game. $400, used to be $200 and 1.6. What is going on there? Is it the hand warmers or lunch?
A couple of M&Ms. That sugar in to keep the energy up. Now it looks like the hand warmers. They used to be a little bit more iconic than we have seen lately.
Yeah, we don't really see them that often anymore. Maybe we do, I just haven't noticed. Either way, Simple with the AWP, pushing off towards shore, and oh my goodness, Smooth has got his number. Has he? Has he? How has Simple come out on top in that battle? He knew exactly where he was coming from, had the crosshair perfectly placed, and somehow Simple keeps delivering shots but not connecting them. Tizian will get the frag back in response.
I am so shocked he even got away with one. Thankfully, Tizian makes up for it, because if Simple finds both of those, the round might be too far out of reach before it even really began. Minute 15 to work with. 4-on-4. They can start to divide the defense, but the defense not willing to rest on that. Has already looked for information. They've pushed well out in toward construction at B. They know, therefore, this has to be going toward A. They'll rotate boot 2 back. Swapping guns in doing so. Flamey the op to arrive on the stairs, if so too do the terrorists approach on A. Go the same direction. He'll be ready at range. And it doubles in giving it to him, because if he rotates back, he can also play onto the window. Nonetheless, Zeus still hungry for information at this point. 37 seconds. First kill goes Flamey's way. Good find on next. That shuts down one approach to the A site as they hold off toward the front side of the bathrooms. Bomb has to walk in silently, so the fight has to go directly on from the stairs as Flamey takes out Tapson. Him on the AWP after Simple goes down. It's got 3 kills for them so far. The only 3 as it sits to his side. Tizian and Gabi finding kills, but it's the flank from Edward. He pushed out so aggressively in B early on, and he knew exactly when to strike. It's 14-10.
Lovely stuff there. The flank is absolutely perfect. And he comes through with 10 seconds remaining as well. He knew they'll be trying to get that bomb down any way they could. Calm shots, they had no idea. And it will be 14-10 with the money broken for Big. I assume another tactical timeout here. Indeed it is. They've got $2,000 per player. It's their last time out, I believe. We'll see whether they want to buy into this one or allow NaVi to get to map point here. The first of our potential 5 maps. I think they are going to have to do that. Unfortunately, it's a bitter pill to swallow, and the comeback felt like it was on, but this is going to be very, very difficult now at this point. It's Flamey getting a WAWP, quite handy with the weapon as well. I guess technically you'd say he's a secondary AWPer. Smoothie, that's him in disbelief. It's like, how have I been taken down there? And that's him meeting Simple for the first time. And I think Smoothie has probably been besting a lot of AWPers at this tournament, but there's not many players out there that can be faster than young Sim.
You can hit a million shots, but missing one in that fashion, that haunts you.
Indeed. Gets inside your head. You don't want to challenge him anymore. Too fast, too confident. As we'll see, pretty much a full eco here, no armor. And Edward wants to push B again. This time, though, needs to be very careful. They can't lose the pistols once more. Decides to fall back. That's a smart idea. Against these pistols, you don't need to find the opening kill. They've got no grenades, no armor. You give this whole crossfires, you get a win.
Good nade. Fractional damage only to Smooya. The intention was correct. Get it through the window. Simple, meanwhile, will buy himself some space. Not going down early means the op stays in his hands firmly this time. Reason to be hopeful. You mentioned it already. Big have won 2 rounds on the eco. In this game, mind you, they were both on the CT side. Sandbags, which Flamey will now use that to get closer to the bomb site. Right out MP7, he's hoping that his vision won't be whited out. It doesn't matter, good boost, good hold from Tapson. Opens up a lot of space. They can run it toward the plant, but they've got 14 seconds in doing so, and Edward's not even gonna let them get there. 3 kills, bomb goes down, very well controlled. As Simple closes the round. It's map point, map 1 for NaVi.
Excellent opening kill there from Tapson. Good idea. Boost behind the smoke, get the 1 deke. It would have been an absolute miracle if they could pull that one off, but Edward was there, gunning them down. Like we said, no armor. Makes them incredibly squishy when they make their way through. The bullets in their general direction. And he finds 3 kills. Potentially the last round here. It's going to take 5 in a row to take Big to overtime here. They did it quite a lot throughout this tournament, especially against FaZe yesterday. A notable one there. AKs and a Khalil. Tizian will be doing the rest. A rifle, and it's Smooya to go down first, but good trade. 4-on-4 technically does favor the terrorist forces as it thins out the defense here. Money's not ideal for NaVi. They do lose this round. There is a chance to string some rounds together.
Patience again for Simple. Edward and Zeus both looking at their respective choke points, as Zeus is a little bit closer toward the sandbags than Edward is toward Monster. Gabi's going to rotate back around. Tizian will start to head that direction. They need more information. They're not entirely content with their positioning. Interesting approach from Gabi. Deep smoke back from the stairs. Simple gets to see above it for free, and if they think this has covered him off, they might have a problem going toward the connector, because Simple can see immediately over it. Gabi almost plays himself, throwing a deep smoke that he thinks can be used tactically. It counters it. Although it does leave a gap Tapson nearly gets control of. Flamey manages to survive only just. It forces him into the corner at long. They know he's there, but no one out there to capitalize on it. Doesn't really help.
There it is. 4 versus 3 now. Potentially the last round. Big with 30 seconds remaining. The bomb in the connector right now. Where do they finish up? They've got 1 smoke and an incendiary. A couple of flashbangs. It looks like it'll be a B bomb site finish. There's rotations coming in. Zeus backing up Edward. As the smoke goes down perfectly here. A couple of kills will do it, but Zeus finds nothing. Edward, the last line of defense now. Can he find both frags? He can't, but Simple, that should do it, Matt. The bomb's down the pit. I don't think there's even time to win the round, but Simple will get the final frag regardless. And there we have it, 16-10 in favor of NaVi. It is their map pick. They even made a ton of mistakes there, man. It's still quite a convincing scoreline. Remember, they lost to, what, 2 or 3 full ecos. It didn't look great to kick things off. A little bit uncomfortable in their map pick, but still they get the job done.
Absolutely do. Encouraging signs from Big nonetheless. Didn't have much economy to work with. Won 2 anti-eco, or rather 2 ecos, excuse me. NaVi lost 2 anti-ecos to give themselves a chance to pull it to 8-7, but NaVi do capitalize. We go to Dust 2, and that's the important part. If they have any game in them, that's where we're going to see it.
Absolutely. Dust 2 has been a fantastic map for them, and we'll see if they can do it after this break.
Incendiary out.
By in Intel, Vodafone, MSI, DHL, Alienware, Betway, Logitech G, and Pay Safeguard.
No player in history has shown the devastating level of performance and power that Simple unleashes on his opponents. Yet ever, the adage remains true. The best player does not beat the best team. Individual greatness is on display every time the Ukrainian enters the server. But trophies are what he hungers after now. Once a one-man team, NaVi has developed into a squad who complement the game's biggest gun. You can set your watch by the consistent play and style of Electronic. Flamey no longer bears the burden of the spotlight and plays many roles for this squad. Zeus and Edward bring major winning experience from CS 1.6 and look to help Simple win his first in CS:GO.
Two years ago, Simple strode out onto that stage. 2016, we saw Simple repping the Team Liquid at the time, and now he finds himself 2018 in that NaVi jersey. It was an organization he always wanted to play for, and now he's on the grand final stage with them, and they are 1-0 up in a best of 5. I'm joined by YNK and Sponge to talk about this one, and Overpass has been NaVi's playground. We've seen them, you know, take a couple of teams to town on it, or take them to church, as OJ likes to say. Now, Yanko, I want to start with you by just kind of, from an outside perspective looking in, it did look like NaVi had full control throughout this game.
Definitely, and you can tell that Big is not as comfortable on this map, even on the T side as they are on some of the others. We saw them a couple of times trying to, go back to the other side late in the round where they didn't have any presence on that opposite side of the map. Then NaVi was really good at saving utility, not using their utility for no reason. A couple of times Big had to jump through smokes with 12 seconds remaining, right? That's obviously going to be a massive issue. You don't have enough time to account for everything, check all the corners. So I agree with Henry. Despite NaVi losing actually some silly rounds, some anti-ecos, this was still a very much comfortable win for them.
Yeah, I'm definitely with that sentiment. Another positive for NaVi is the star trio is all firing, right? We've got Flamey, Simple, and Electronic all doing work. And then Edward as well, finding a lot of kills, and Zeus getting the ones that he needed to. So it wasn't to the point where anybody was really lacking for this team. Everybody contributed, and once again, I want to reiterate that sentiment. It felt like their game the entire time.
And just to follow up on that, you said that, there was no one really falling short. I mean, that first half, was there anyone falling short? It was 8-7, we had some Ninja defuses, we had some clutches. I mean, coming into the second half, 8-7, going to T-side Overpass, it wasn't an impossible feat, was it, Yanko?
I mean, it was 8-7 with the defuse in the smoke, with the tabs and triple K with the AK,
yep,
on the eco. Another eco where Nex got a kill with the USP and then another kill with the MAC-10. So we have already listed 3 rounds that you're not supposed to win. They managed to win them, and it was still only 8-7. And then when you come into the second half, after NaVi secured the pistol round, that's where you knew for Big it's going to be very much an uphill struggle.
Yeah, throughout this tournament, Big have been doing better on their CT sides as opposed to their T sides, right? They've been locking it down, but in this case, not to be. I think a key takeaway for NaVi, though, is they can be their biggest, their own worst enemy in a lot of ways, right? Their emotions, we've known from time to time, get the better of them when communication breaks down, when people get frazzled. That can be an issue, and I thought cracks of that could have potentially started to show after they lost those eco rounds, but they managed to steer the ship clear and stay back and get into the game. But I think if you look at it for Big, it is a positive sign that they were allowed to win those ecos in a way, if you know what I mean, in the sense of they were getting a chance to warm up and prove, hey, we can win these impossible rounds and we can compete on this stage.
Personal opinion time from you, Chad. We cut to a lot of these first-person perspectives, the cameras on the players' monitors. You can see their reactions. I felt like halfway through that game, I was already seeing Tabson head in hand, Smooya shouting at his monitor. Is this okay? Is this a positive sign? Is this a negative sign? What's your read on that?
Look, when we did it was Pro League in Brazil. This is years ago now, when tabseN was in NRG. We were standing there, and in the group stage, they were behind us at the desk, and they were emotional then. tabseN's always been an emotional player, and Smooya, only 18 years old, it's going to be much of the same vein, in my opinion. I think the crux for them, it's this: you have to ride that wave of emotion. You're here now, you need to just go with it. The sense of the matter is they are going to lose a lot of silly rounds. It is just going to happen. This is a grand final stage. It's a best of 5 against NaVi, who, on paper, are the hard favorites. Hard favourites. And actually, I don't know if this necessarily reinforces that point, but you do have a telestrator for us.
Yes, this is a reset round, so to speak, for Big. It came 2 rounds after the tabseN round really much, and it's an illustration of how NaVi did some things really well in that T side. Despite losing silly rounds, did a great job of mixing things up, which bomb side they're going to go, changing the pace. And as you can see in this particular round, we have Smooya on the AWP, and the rest of the team doesn't have an ideal buy. They decide to go for the B stack early on, got B on the pop flash to maybe try and clear water, something along those lines. Where on the other side of things, you can see NaVi very early on actually grouping towards long, only having Zeus here to spot for information. Now we're going to switch to the overview so you guys can see when it comes to that execute, how NaVi does it a little bit differently compared to the other teams. Often you would see a complete wall of smokes here so you can plant the bomb safely in front of the box and then defend it after that. Or even you would see a wall back here towards bank and towards the players rotating in so you can cut off the bomb site completely. NaVi does something a bit differently. They go for that contact play. They still have utility. They don't use it. You only see the 2 pop flashes, and they want to go for contact because the name of the game for NaVi this whole tournament has been amazing trades, and you can see Smooya alone in the bomb site. He misses the first shot, and NaVi still doesn't rush him completely. You would expect players to try to go from different sides, but this position around the truck is super powerful, and they don't use a molly for it even if they had it, so they have to be very careful how they proceed here, because Smooya can effectively get a couple of more kills, and they do a very good job of waiting for the right timing. They get the kill on Smooya, and after that they have a good after-plan situation. Players are in their spots, and they just played correctly from that point on.
No, absolutely, and I think, you know, NaVi, definitely you'd expect them to be happy about that one, starting the series off them, that picked their win. They're on track. That's at least my read of it. We'll find out if Trace has learned anything different, because he's tried his best to try and get hold of a player. Let's see what Trace has learned backstage.
You know, I've tried my damnedest, Alex. I really did, but unfortunately right now it's just a little bit impossible. These players are in the zone, and while I must say NaVi did win that map, they didn't seem too happy about it. It seems as though they were a little bit stuck up on maybe some of the mistakes they made in game. But still, you know, we do go to another map.
Okay, so NaVi frustrated when they win. I guess that's nothing new.
Just typical Eastern Europeans. You're never satisfied, win or lose. You're going to find something to argue about.
They certainly are, and I actually have something that you guys might argue about. Dust 2. Map 2. In my mind, this is something that Big have not only a bigger shot at, but I think we're going to be going 1-1 here. I'll let you guys discuss amongst yourselves. Yanko, you feeling it too?
I think this is a crucial map for Big. Obviously, because I think if they're 0-2 down, seeing them reverse sweep NaVi in a grand final, I think it's a bit too far-fetched, even for the Cinderella storyline we've had. I think more than anything else, if they win Dust 2, that gives them a chance to win the series. Doesn't matter which two of the rest 3 maps. I just think mentality-wise, they can't afford to be down 0-2.
I agree that it's really important for them to win this map, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think after that first showing, and NaVi knew this was going to come up. They knew this was going to be probably the first pick of Big. If they haven't done their homework and they haven't addressed a new play style and looked at their CT side, and hopefully now we don't have to see them hedging their bets with 3 players over towards the B bomb side at the start of every round, we might get a competitive NaVi. They have all the pieces of the puzzle to have a strong CT side. Simple roaming with the AWP, you lock down B with the likes of Electronic and Flamey, and then over towards A, you just put either Zeus or Edward as their anchor and the other's the swing player. You just have to set Simple up towards A to do whatever he needs to do, and if they've actually address that, I think they can have a better CT side than what we've seen from them thus far.
And even if you watch that game yesterday versus FaZe, one of the few calls that actually worked on FaZe's T side was the simplest one you could imagine. It was faking that you were going for A long with Big. When they see smokes going over and flashes, all 3 A players focused towards long. That was just Carrigan baiting them into it. The rest of the team ran out cat. They were in the side before anyone from being turned around, right? So I think for NaVi, even though it's not natural for them, some of the more fast-paced plays, some more simple fakes along those lines, because Big does tend to over-rotate at times.
Now, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Dust 2, you tend to refer to it as a very AWP influential map.
Definitely, yeah.
AWPs can go off here. I mean, would you advise Smooya to be playing some hyper-aggressive? Do you want to see him going for those frags, or is he just you want him holding the line and being consistent? I mean, what's your requests from Smooya to pick up Dust 2?
I think you saw him even yesterday versus FaZe. He was trying to go for a lot of fights. He was playing, you know, behind those mid doors. There was a smoke on Xbox, and he's just searching for kills. And actually, it felt like he should have been punished more for that, right? I mean, he's just actively looking for duels, just pop flash him and, you know, trade effectively with him. But I think definitely for Big, no matter the map in the series, they have to take risks individually and as a team. So for Smooya, you want to see, or because he plays towards B, tabseN or go B towards the A side, you want to see them trying to go for some picks that boost on Cat towards lower, you know, whatever it is, you need to try and put NaVi out of their comfort zone.
One of my takeaways for NaVi in that first map on their CT side, they were more than happy to send a player in individually to just die a lot. Did you see how much that was happening, especially over towards that B bomb site?
For what purpose?
Well, it wasn't intentional. I don't think they were expecting him just to go down, but they were giving up 4v5s at the start of the round a lot of the time. Lucky they were able to recover with multi-kills coming in from the likes of Electronic, but that can't happen again on Dust 2, because Big are going to punish you a lot harder on a map like this.
And I think it wasn't as silly as it looked, because every time Edward went for it, there was a pop flash, but they just maybe misjudged the position in which the opponent is in, or the flash wasn't quite right, or he didn't get the kill he was supposed to get. So I'm fine with that. You don't have as much room to go for those plays on Dust 2 as you do on Overpass, right?
Sure.
A lot of map control is given naturally to the Ts because of the structure of the map. So I think we might see a bit more passive play and retakes from NaVi this time around.
Something that stood out was, albeit not that often, in that FaZe game when Big were defending, there was a couple of rounds, I can think of two off the top of my head, where Nico would just walk into B and the bomb would be down, and within 15 to 20 seconds, they were saving and the round was over. My question is that just how Dust 2 plays on occasion, or is that something that Big could be avoiding?
There's a lot of like economical situations that could play into having saves like that, depending on what phase you are in the game. But in terms of retaking that bomb site, it can be very difficult. We did see earlier in the tournament, and we highlighted it, how some simple smokes and flashes can make an aid in that retake, and that was actually from FaZe earlier in the tournament. They did a fantastic job. Whether or not Big have that same level in their playbook, it must be because it is a map that they want to pick. It is one that they want to play, and they've shown fantastic results on that 16-1 victory against G2. They definitely have depth on this, but it is heavily reliant. Some of the takeaways from yesterday's game was, say, Nex over towards that new car position, right? It seems like an absolute shield, and he was getting spammed, Molotoved, everything, but still able to be a nuisance. NaVi have to work out a way to deal with that position, I think, and that could be a factor for them.
Okay, and in terms of, you know, those win conditions, you already said you think NaVi are going to be taking this one. Yanko, I didn't get to push you.
I think for Big, they need to step up individually a little bit, right? They need to go back to hitting some of those crazy shots that we've seen, because yes, your utility usage is great, but Dust 2 is not Inferno. Utility alone is not going to win you the map. You know, such an open map, there's going to be a lot of duels going on. If you can't stop that first guy coming out, if you can't slow down the attack in order for your teammates to rotate in and support you, you're not going to have a great time.
And I mean, Nex has had some of his historically best performances on this very map, and even yesterday, no exception. He looked fantastic. Multi-kills, jumping kills, doesn't matter how he was doing it. I guess he's going to be one of the names at the tip of your tongue, Chad, when you're looking for those performers.
For sure, and I definitely felt his impact on that first map as well. On the CT side, he was still getting multi-kills, so at least he's online. That is a positive factor, and you're right. He's always been instrumental on a map like this, hitting shots with that precise aim that we know him for. tabseN as well on that secondary AWP. We know GodB's doing a little bit of it too, but tabseN can also pick that bad boy up. I think those three players, bringing Smooya into the discussion, are going to be instrumental in how they apply those AWPs, because Flamey's going to pick it up if he gets good spawn going towards the long doors. They are going to be juggling it around on that NaVi side. It isn't just simple exclusively. Those are going to be some key jewels.
Just to update everyone here, and of course watching at home, we were just changing out a monitor, a full refreshing monitor for one of the players on NaVi, so we should be able to get back into the game still shortly.
I think an interesting dynamic will be Big yesterday on their T side. They were trying to force A-long a lot early on, and FaZe was punishing them by pushing B every single time. You know, when they would lose control of long, they would push B, and they would have a guy on the flank. And sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. But you know, Big, looking back at that game, they're going to figure out that, you know, we lose a lot of presence. That might be something that NaVi will go for as well. So I'm interested to see if GodB has added something like a fake of going out A long and then just waiting for that push in B tunnels, and, you know, just getting the trades and entering B after something like that.
That statistic kind of blew my mind. Apparently, NaVi are 0-3 in recent months on Dust 2.
Yeah, it's not one of their better maps, but you have to look at, they played, I think, Virtus Pro at that Chinese tournament. They got blown out of the water on that one. That was a 16-6 or 16-4, something along those lines.
So it's a chance for UKCS and, of course, German Counter-Strike to fight back. It is the best of 5 map 2 for this grand final. And as the war horn sounds, we venture once again back into the server, back into the brawl and the battle. Big looking to respond. NaVi 1-0 up in the best of 5.
And it's Dust 2 followed by Train. So in many ways, the series starts now for Big, or it could fall apart now. I still think this is the key to it for them.
They were very impressive on Train, I'll give them that, but Dust 2, I think they need to find a little bit more success here. Smooya alone goes out towards Long, using that spawn, but no one there to challenge him. The rest of Big, however, will be waiting in the B tunnels for now, just seeing if there's any sort of CT aggression coming through. Godby's actually all the way in T spawn, waiting for any pushes towards the top of middle, making sure Suicide is clear, and of course, the entrance of Long. So allow Smooya to maybe get a bit more going towards that position, but he's falling back, and they've still got 2 smokes and 3 flashbangs in total. We'll see whether Zeus and Electronic can hold off the potential mid-split that could be coming in. 1 minute 15 remaining. They could just smoke Xbox here and try go up towards short. There's a smoke coming through. Looks like it will land on the Xbox. That was classic Dust 2 meta. Smoke this every single round, and then try and get it towards short. Even if you're not going up there, taking vision away. Yeah, did that miss?
You have to create doubt. It certainly did. Electronic can see the whole way there. So now, whether they go or not, it creates the opposite problem. If they do go, he's going to have vision, and he certainly knows whether or not they do. Good flash through, that'll force him off it. So too with Zeus, who ends up back towards CT, but they still have the crossfire. Zeus won't be able to see above just yet. Hasn't elected to jump up. Good shot, Electronic. Oh, the second one was brilliant. Bomb goes down, and Next suddenly scurries away. No chance to go further. Does get 1 kill on it. It's more important that Flamey watches the inside of the site, however, because Godby's gotten the kill back on a weakened Electronic, and Flamey, I thought, would respond. He holds station, which means Next didn't know that he was there because Godby never spotted it. But I think he could have done potentially a little more damage early on. Either way, they get the rounds.
Pretty disastrous stuff there from Big. Wanted to get that smoke down towards Xbox. You could see that really kind of rattled them at that point. It completely missed. The idea of the Xbox smoke is to block vision towards shore, so the CTs have no idea. Maybe forces the rotation back up towards the A side, but the fact they can still see shore when they keep 2 players towards middle, and at that point, Electronic went to town on them. This second shot especially, my goodness, that is quite special. Shuts the round down, and Big do not get a plant. Suggests they'll be getting some pistols here, and Simple will be removing one of them. Smooya completely destroyed at the beginning of the second round here, taking down a swift headshot from this scout. We're going to have a P250 and 1 smoke, and that's on the utility belt of Godby. So 5-on-4, nice and early for the CTs.
Scout goes back. Did realize he spotted one back towards T-spawn. Won't hit it. Bit of damage dealt his direction. Tizian, best chance he could. Try and spray into it. Smoke now off. Zeus will get Tizian pushing back out, and Edwards got control of Catwalk. So another pretty straightforward round. Bomb plant the agenda with the smoke for Godby. Even that becomes a little bit more difficult, but Next opening up one on Zeus takes out their anchor at Long. Potential to exploit it. They'll rotate accordingly and put Simple in that position as Edwards subsides slightly. Flamey, good trade. But again, a trade that's going to create space. Electronic now goes all the way toward the tunnels. If he goes too far on this and Edwards not careful, they could rotate in directly behind him. Electronic has to watch this.
Edwards towards middle, does take down the bomb and pretty much secures the round at that point. 40 seconds remaining, and it's just Godby, who does manage to inflict tremendous damage towards Edward there, but still so much work to do. Nowhere near a sight right now. Throws the smoke, and he might be focusing towards CT spawn here. Gets the Deagle out for that increased range, of course, but time ticking away. He knows his options are extremely limited. Best option at this point, try to get towards B and challenge Edward, who's got that very low health, but Simple will finish things off there. It is going to be 2-0. Quite a comfortable one. Now, they do look to 2 players overall, but that's absolutely fine. I'll repurchase with SMGs here, and it's another eco for Big. Ideally, would have had similar scenes to what we had on Overpass. You take that eco in the second round, even if you get the bomb down, then try and get another plant, and at that point, you would have another bite of the cherry. But either way, it is going to be Big now.
men to the corner. Zeus will push up. Position has been very effective so far this week at the Molotov. He knows he can get there as well. No one's going to dare push through that without armor, and getting him behind the doorway, he'll control it more effectively. Watch out, Simple. Overwhelmed, knows they're above, good read. Hard to aim straight up, always. Just to get one kill from it, as Tizian is the last remaining. He picks up the bomb, but takes the from an aid. Good read, the Zeus is behind him, hang on. Still 1 versus 3, but bomb plants are what are important. He's going to commit to trying to battle.
That smoke just removes him from the area now, so his options, try and get towards shore, but he will have a gap. That's exactly what I was talking about. Electronic at the right angle can spot him. An ambitious pick with the MP9 at that range, doesn't work out for him. There it is, the 3-0. If you're just joining us, the second map, and this is actually the German squad's map pick, Dust 2, and we should be following Tizian for the next round. I'll tell you that right now, because he's got the best spawn possible for the long area. We cast it big on this particular map yesterday, Matt, and they really did focus on long. They wanted to try and get there almost every single round.
There was something that was predictable in it. It still worked. Even if it was predictable, they still made it work. Every time they won long, they would fall back. Kerrigan saw that and did start to rotate accordingly in playing catwalk. Whether or not NaVi saw that as part of the sample they got from watching that game yesterday, yet to be determined. Again, they'll win long corner. They're extremely good at getting out there. Whether it's by duel or utility, they always get a bit of map control.
One thing I will say, though, respect to Zeus there. He manages to get the smoke down, the flashbang, a bit of, well, significant damage to Tizian, and he didn't overcommit. Sometimes some players will be guilty of taking the duel and trying to get the first pick, and actually ends up being a lot worse if you go down even just 1 kill. So he goes back, he's got the information, and they have long. That's an asset for Big, of course. That's why they want to be there. There's many different smoke options from here. You can smoke towards CT spawn, you can smoke shore, you can Molotov the car. It's a great area of the map to have. And I like this. They've fallen back and now heading up towards shore. Simple narrowly misses out on the first kill.
Yeah, again, I'll use the banana comparison. Simple, maybe I'll get back to that. Just gonna get overrun. Tries to fire in a very small smoke gap. Dobby's still expecting he might try again, knowing that it is Simple and how audacious he could be at times. Meanwhile, he's gone back to watch long A. Now push up the wall. Flash, peek behind it. He's got to jump a little bit to do it. Plays the inside of the box instead. Tighter angle, still couldn't land the shot, and he's limited by the small little half wall. The ankle ledge beside him as Next takes down the first shot. Simple's overwhelmed. Good execution. Smoke to CT. They're already backing off 3-1.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's why long is such a valuable piece of the map. It's so stifling for the CTs. The idea is once you have long control, you've established that, you're going to be rotating back into your default. Leave a couple of players there, then you go up towards short. And if Simple gets that first kill, that's horrendous, but he missed it. And then they've pushed him back towards the site. What happens at that point? He's got pressure from long and short, and he just either has to fall back or try and fight them. Obviously went for the fight, didn't hit any of the shots. Their utility usage was very good. They smoke CT spawn, they Molotov the site, they flash over and go at him at the same time. And he just can't find a position to even find an opening kill there. So perfectly played by Big. It's why they want to be playing this map. That's a classic Dust 2 approach. And for now, 3 players trying to survive on the NaVi side. You can see they've got 3 rifles here. In terms of the overall money, they've even got enough for another buy. So saving 3 rifles will be very beneficial going forward. But there we go. Big are on the board, and all 5 players survive. That's not bad at all. Electronic survived right in the nick of time.
Just barely. Yeah, to go back to your point as well, I use the banana comparison in the last map as well with water. Not every map has a defined middle in the same stance that it is the important integral. You know, Mirage, I would say mid is cash. To an extent, you can play around it. There's other options, certainly, but it becomes very important because if you can get it, you can utilize it. Long is very similar on Dust 2. More so than mid, because mid doesn't offer you much. You still have a very clear mid wall that has a door to get through.
For me, the best comparison would be maybe it's similar to Nuke, the ramp room.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, so once you get that, you have options. It's not a bomb site, but it's a really significant objective of the map. If you get the ramp room, they've lost information, and now you've got access to 2 sites, and you can do something with it. So I think it's a really solid part of the map, and that's why so many teams will take that long spawn every single time. And Big, you don't even have to use the best spawn. You can do what we call a long retake, is when you do a default at start, and then you go back to the long smokes. You'll smoke the corner completely with 2, so you can't be seen from the A side. Flash over, Molotov the pit, just try and get a player in there. So it doesn't have to be spawn-based, but it's such an advantage to get the best spawn and try and run out and challenge, especially with the AWP. But there we go. Next has got the spawn this time, and will he be taking it? It looks like he will commit. He's going to take the peek towards long, but takes a nade to the face first. Tries to throw off a bit of damage. That hasn't really worked out for him.
So they double up long. To see when Guardian was on the NaVi side, they would attempt the same approach to try and control it. And this time, despite that everyone has backed off and it is available to them, they won't anchor to it because Smooya is still holding over toward B. We finally get our off battle as well. because he has one on the attacking side. Let's begin as he looks to try and sort where Electronic is playing from. That flash trajectory suggests he's in the backside of the boxes. Which allows Gobby. Rite of passage up the wall. Flash won't catch him. Good hold from Electronic. Creative angle. Doesn't have a window to shoot at. In fact, he had to hit a headshot on the way through. M4 makes that more difficult. Overstays as well. And runs to Tapson, but Tapson goes down to Flamey. Speaking of a bit incendiary, as Smoothie gets the shot back, he's the only one left. 1 versus 3. Bomb down has at least crossed over with the box to protect the window, and the smoke down at the doors. They won't push aggressively. Zeus is on his own. If he goes down here, a chance for Smoothie, but he makes 2.
Oh, big commitment there from Zeus. Pushing through the window once the bomb had been planted as well. Luckily, the timing was completely in his favor, and it'll be simple to now have a secondary AWPer with him. I don't think it'll be Zeus. I assume that gets given to Flaming. Or maybe Electronic as well. He seems to be pretty handy with that weapon these days as well. It will be round number 6, and Big have been reset, but like we said before, the round they did win, they kept all 5 players alive, and they got the bomb down in the previous round. What's going on here, Matt? We're not in Australia. Don't do it! Oh my God, he's going for it. The shoey. Happening here in Cologne. We don't even allow them in Sydney, Matt. Why
Union Jack, Commonwealth. I guess it's extending like a flag. Smoothie has gone suicide with an AWP. I still say I'm never going to do one of those. You got to give me a brand new shoe, or I'm going to win a Formula 1 Grand Prix. And I think it's going to have to be the brand new shoe out of the 2 of those, if I'm honest. His next gets tagged, still makes up for it though. As he gets blinded, he takes down Simple with a headshot over top of the wall toward ramp. That opens up a bit of room on A. More importantly, it takes the AWP out of the anchor position. They still have to worry about Zeus and Edward, but a bounce flash to corner gives them clearance to at least get behind the boxes. They can go for the short plant, and they can do it quickly. They've got to do it quickly. Next holds again, he's low on HP. Flamey manages to at least get Gobby back, but it was Tizian's kill on Edward that allows the plant in the end, and Tapson to hold solo towards short, having the call come in that the bomb was certainly headed that direction. They're backing off. It's Big's round, 4-2.
Definitely is their round. Nice work again. You can see they enjoy playing this map. It was a scrappy affair on the A bomb side. Next with low HP, still manages to get 2. And Simple with no frags. It's always going to be a massive victory. And the money now starting to run quite low for NaVi. It's going to be the most devastating of resets of 2 players surviving here, especially Electronic with that AK. Flamey got the AWP, they're holding right up there in T-spawn. And Big can't really justify going on a massive hunt for these 2 players because their money isn't exactly established either. But there we go, it is going to be 4-2. Big getting it done as they finish up towards A. I take it back, Tapson does take down the AWP, that's fantastic. As he finishes things off there, that might call for an eco now. Saving the AWP. They're almost certainly going to force around those 2 weapons, but Tapson does a great job in finding the final player. Very common position to save weaponry. The T-spawn ramp outside the B tunnels there. And here's next. Someone who's been looking so good in this tournament. There are resurgence from his 2015 form. His way back when he was in mouse sports, and on this map, believe it or not, as Tizian uses the spawn once again. Up against the eco now of NaVi. Needs to be very careful here. Gets to the safety of the blue box.
Oh, Tapson's not going to. Tizian protects him. That's friendship at its finest. As Tapson then gets boosted up, he's able, in combination with Next, to take down Electronic. Again, long becomes the approach and long becomes the objective. That is successfully taken by Big. So to that shot from Smoothie through the doors. He tags up Edward. Simple caught him off, pushing up catwalk. He wants that off. I'm not sure that he's aware that Gobby's also back towards spawn.
Here we go then. Big in the 4 versus 2 should be absolutely fine at this point. A comfortable finish. There is 1 player pushing towards T-spawn. That's going to be Edward. Gobby on the suicide angle, and that's going to be it. That confirms the victory now. Edward might be able to save 1 weapon. He's making noise, so Gobby should be able to finish things off. Big lock burst fire. A little bit risky, but it works out for him. And there will be 4 players to survive, and Gobby has the AWP now, so that's going to be nice for him. Going to get the to Smoothie, of course. Gobby has been using the AWP quite a lot in this tournament, I have to say. Apparently, his teammates dropped 1 in the game once, used it for 1 round, and got 2 kills. And ever since then, he's been happy to walk for them. You can see the frustration coming in there for Zeus. Very passionate player. As the double AWP setup comes out once again for NaVi, Flamey and Simple. Simple has been really contained this series so far. He had a good showing on Overpass, but it wasn't an unbelievable one.
Still, though, they got the map. That's all he cares about. Let's watch. Simple holds catwalk. They've also got a cheeky position from Flamey, although he's moved now. He was toward the window and therefore can swing back to support Edward in holding middle. Simple's going to take this beat all the way around. All the way around, no question about it. Godby never had a chance. When Simple's got that hold on, smoke down as it dissipates. Flamey finds 2 more ops with 3 kills from 2 different players so far for NaVi. Next has got in though, and he gets on top of the box just enough to find Edward transitioning in the sight still though. They've got to find not only that AWP, which now gets toward the fence, but closet as well. And if they think the site's open on 2 kills, they've got problems. If they don't even check it, which they won't, Electronic takes the bomb back, 55 seconds, but it's just Tizian. Has to cut off Simple.
He's got a lot of work to do here. This could be possible, but Simple removes all threats. 3 versus 1, and like he said, it's unorthodox to have 3 players in that B bomb site. They get 2 kills and think it'll be clear, and you'd probably, most of the time, be correct in thinking that, but there was one more sneaky player towards the end. But what great work this was from Flamey and Simple. This is why the double orbs are so prevalent on Dust 2. It's a map that's split right in half down into the mid-area. Orb on the A side and then one towards B. It means you can have just one player playing B sometimes once he gets established, holding the back towards the window or the platform, and you can have much more firepower towards middle and A. This looks like a faster approach or a change of pace. Godby is quite good at calling these sort of rounds. He sent 2 players out towards middle already. There's an early smoke in the spawn area, and just Flamey waiting in B, but it might not matter. Zeus helps him out from CT Sport.
We saw that smoke from them yesterday as well. You originally thought it was a miss. I think it might actually be designed so that it blocks off more of the firebox.
Indeed, that's what I think as well.
It still has a gap. I think that's inevitable. There's no little ledge you can put it up on, so when they get toward the window where Nex is now, he's got problems. Residue's still in place, though, from a further nade deployed, and they won't be able to spot him. Dissipation as well as they sort of bloom higher in the air. They don't get to see him. He's timed it perfectly, goes back for more though, but Simple and Edward find kills in their favor. Down to Smooya once more. Nex didn't need to jump in. Smooya's got the sight on his own, but this is going to have to be absolutely incredible.
Wow. Let's see what he can do with it. They have got incendiaries and 3 smokes. They should be able to eradicate a lot of risk here. Smoke on the site, take away vision best they can. You want to be smoking the back of that platform as well. That would be ideal. But Electronics just jumped in here. He spotted him, and it's going to be a quick finish there. Not really much Simple. Oh, so Smooya could do. His name's correct. As he holds towards the bomb side box there, not really a lot of options. Just hoping the timings works in his favor. He focused towards the tunnel position, but Electronic just ran through, took him down, and the double orbs come out once again for NaVi, and they've been so powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as soon as Electronic went through the window, Edward knew he had to be staring that direction, so whether he peeked him and found him, they had positional information. So 6-3 in favor of NaVi. T-side domination by Big over G2. It was a much closer affair against FaZe. By no means are they out of this. Ops will be Flamey and Simple again. We'll see if they continue to play aggressive. Electronic able to get 1 AK carried over to the CT side. Tactical timeout called, the first of 4. Ia gets to chime in. We saw how emotional he was about things yesterday.
That's absolutely true. Timeout all leads to what looks like an eco right now. Round 10, PD-50s in blocks. They have 1 smoke, 1 Molotov, and a couple of flashbangs. What could that mean? They could maybe go for long A, try and get out of the doors and smoke the crossover. Smoke Xbox again and see whether they can get towards short. I say again, it did miss the first time around. It is the Xbox smoke. This time it is successful, but Molotov on top of it means they have to run through the flames. They want to make it through, but I guess they could just wait and jump up on the Xbox itself. Another incendiary goes down. So just doing a little bit of chip damage here as Smooya and Tamsin take the brunt of it. Holding them off very nicely though, they are contained. All 5 players towards shore, extremely vulnerable to HE grenades right now. There's one of them, not quite deep enough though. Nex is the only player of any sort of armor. Waiting on the side for them is Flamey with that secondary orb.
Potential for drop. We know that Godby was caught out twice by that from FaZe yesterday. Nex did adjust accordingly, but we'll see if they take a leaf from that book. Nex goes back to clear out lower tons. Pushing up yet that he spotted, which means information hasn't been that gathered and that well contained from the defensive side. Edward still plays below on the ramp. Smokes go through the gap a little bit further out. Limits Flamey's angle. He'll play box for coverage and let them get all the way toward the corner. Just to anticipate a boost perhaps above the smoke and fires into it. Edward just needs to be worried about utility. If they find him or overrun him by getting above, now they flash off. Exactly that. Such good use again from utility, and Nex's position's perfect. He was waiting all along. Didn't read that Simple was so close, but they're already backing off. Maybe too early. Maybe a little bit premature from Simple to suggest that this was over, because Zeus finds a kill from Carr. He now gives up as well. He goes back toward the anchor position, expecting the rotation, not knowing where the two players on short have gone, and Simple switches to the AK instead. That puts him in elevator, a closed quarter. He's trapped off, he's pincered in, but he's got 1 versus 2, and an AK shut down by Goppy.
Another eco victory for Big here, as they take away round number 10. That sabotaged the efforts of NaVi. They were looking so comfortable, they were holding them off so well. But that's maybe why you want to save those incendiaries now for when they finally commit. They use all of them to just try and do some damage across up towards shore. That didn't really do anything to succeed and find the round victory. It did a little bit of damage, but if you held them off and they finally commit, you deny the plant, you don't have to challenge as much. I feel like they're dumping the utility way too early. And now we get into a force buy situation, and Smooya's going to find the orb shot. Lovely one of that to take down Simple. I think he had a scout. No, he actually had the AWP. There we go. It is going to be recovered and given to Flamey now, as Edward will have the scouts.
I think he's more comfortable, obviously, with the MP9, or MP7, excuse me. He grabs MP9 through electronic. So again, long control for Big. Later boost puts Flamey closer to electronic. As the off also starts to get control toward Goose. It can now control either catwalk or long. Again, it's the impressive use of utility in the last round that give them so much to work with.
Very slow. Very methodical so far from Big. You can see they've got that long control. We've already discussed how this is beneficial. They're not going to fall back on it though. They're going to extend the commitment up and go for another one of these contact plays. Fortunately for them, there are 3 CT players there, so they could be quite vulnerable here. To smoke is absolutely useless, as Edward's got a massive gap in it, so it doesn't really help him out too much. As Smooya continues to find shots here. This looks like quite an easy finish now for the Big side. They're completely dismantling the defense as Tizian finds a penultimate kill, and just Zeus remains. It's going to be 6-5. Big's pick. And they're getting things back together. But this was a force buy as well for NaVi, not into the eco. So they went with everything they've got, and that victory there for Big might find them a couple of rounds. So Zeus, good for one, but that's about it. Won't be taking any weaponry into the next rounds. As well, coming up has to be the full eco now. Big look to win the half as they swing back into this one. Double orb set up on the T side. So they'll go for some damage at the beginning of the round. Let's see if that works out for them. But I don't think NaVi can justify really anything, but it's not even P250. I think that'd be a stretch at this point. They get one of those with one smoke. No shots landed as they cross over. 3 players deciding to try their luck towards B, but you can be spotted, obviously. If you're watching those doors, you can count how many players go across. They know there's 3 there. So presumably they'll be holding up and seeing if they can get a pick on that side of the map.
Closer, you mentioned it. They'll let him use the op from time to time. It seemed yesterday as well in the double up setup when they occasionally ran it on the T side. He was the one to pick it up rather than Tapson. You want his explosiveness on the AK.
Exactly. You want him going in first. He's going to be making things happen, and he can all, but he feels like he's better off on the defensive side of things. Can just hold an angle and a bomb side, do an amazing job. But Flamey's now got an AWP. I still think the round's going to go in favor of Big, but there's still a chance he could do something with this. But he's on the B side of the map, and they're committing towards A, but the bomb's not there.
Bomb's not there, and look who's near the bomb.
Oh,
Edwards pushed up long. They know that this isn't even about saving the AWP anymore. They've got suddenly a chance to catch them off. Unfortunately, Edwards' position has been discovered, and Tizian starts to work toward Cat.
This should be a round now, because you see Tapson's already at the car. He's secured A completely. He's given the call, you can come here. It's not going to be a problem. I'll watch long and make sure that's fine. Once the bomb goes down, that should be an absolute round for Big. I don't see any sort of danger here. Really simple. Still alive as electronic will be dropped there. Flamey, that's another frag, but these are just him saving the AWP at this point.
So that's 1 to work with. Saves a lot of money for them. This will be a 3rd round bonus with everyone around 2K. AK picked up for Simple. 6-6. Three players staying alive again. This gives Smooya basically a buy in hand. So two with Tabson, Tizian, so it'll take 2 rounds to take them back down to pistols again. Puts us toward round 15 in itself if this doesn't go its way for Big.
Well, some good news for NaVi. They do manage to take the orb from the previous round into this one. 6-6 though. Big winning the last 3 rounds in a row. Fantastic stuff from them. You can see why they like this map. It suits their play style. You've got options to go fast, of course, and you can go very slow and use the utility and flush players out. That's something they're very good at. Their use of Molotovs and doubling up those with flashbangs and HEs, of course. They're good at finding out positions as Smooya takes another shot through the mid doors there. Nothing connecting this time. Maybe Gorby can. Has been decent with the AWP so far. That one narrowly misses out and he'll go down to 40 HP.
Tizian now tasked with long. Meanwhile, it's back towards mid. They'll converge. Smooya finding Simple. One up to another. Getting him behind the door. No utility to clear him. He swings out, catches off Smooya, but when he retreats, Tabson not only has the angle, but there was flames at his feet. Nowhere to go. 2-man advantage now for Big. As Zeus and Electronic try and recover. Falling back off of long. They do get position to find damage into Tabson. Damage therefore into 3 players. Flamey grabs the AWP instead. That much damage. They've got to be somewhat cautious of nades heading that direction. Instead, though, Electronic's going to get flashed in. Back turn, they hear it, but they are looking somehow. Still, Electronic gets away with it. Surely, I thought they would turn around and be reactive. They can't. He's got 3. A missed shot taps in. Flamey retreats off, and he knows he doesn't need to let this go to a one-on-one because the bomb is nowhere near. Excuse me, I should say there's still 2 more in it, but either way, no chance in isolating it. And Electronic, the absolute hero in the round, finally gets disposed of, but Zeus has joined his position. Easy trade.
And that's what Electronic has been doing all tournament long, posting amazing numbers with those sort of plays. Holds towards short, they've got the man disadvantage. He knows he has to play in front of the bomb site, catch them before they fully execute. He knows their grenades are going to be way too strong. Flamey opens things up. He comes barreling around the corner there with the M4A4. They weren't anticipating that sort of play. You can see their disappointment. They know it's a huge round to give away, considering the lead they had. They still have money here. This will be the final buy, and it's round number 14, so need to at least get the bomb down in this round. As Simple gets flashed off, he has been bested by Smooya in the last few rounds. He's back on the AWP, but so is Flamey. That's been such a strong setup for them. Smooya this time going for the second pick, looking towards the exact same angle he found Simple in before. And actually going to commit to walking out of the doors potentially here. He's going to let his teammates go first. It's the right decision with the AK.
That guy's got a lot of friends in this building. It's given to them pretty much this time. Smoke goes down again. Big will try and double that up again. One further, or slightly staggered, I should say, further out than the other, trying to give space. Again. Simple falls one more time. It's Smoothie to start it off now. Remember, they were in a 5 versus 3 last round as well. This time they get into a 5 versus 1. And Flamey's suddenly going, well, I'll stay right here. I wish this car moved. I'd use it to get the hell out, but he does take down Smooya at least.
And Duncan made this point yesterday. Smooya might not get a crazy amount of frags, but the ones he do find are very impactful. The fact he's managed to beat Smooya in a 1 versus 1 twice in a row now is absolutely fantastic for them. That's what you call a B split, man. It doesn't get much better than that. Europa gets the opening pick towards window. The smoke's down at CT's forward. Everyone's pincering towards B and nailing their shots with the AK-47. They've just completely sabotaged the money for NaVi in the final round here. They're going to be going in with SMGs, scouts, and pistols. And Big looking to win the half at this point. They were actually 4-1 down. They could potentially bring it into 8-7 in their favor. Big looking a lot stronger here on Dust 2 now. It's a scout. There's one UMP, an MP7, and there's Tizian just holding off the flanks there from short. Great shots by him. Anticipating the push, and here's Gorby once again going towards long. This time nails a shot, and Simple. He hasn't done a lot in the last 5 rounds. Been taken down first most of the time.
One thought goes in. Tizian's aware that they actually ran through that spot of Zeus, but hasn't disposed of him yet. He knows he's locked in as well, so all he has to do is hold the corridor. Meanwhile, Tabson sneaks out catwalk. Edward tags him, easily switches over to the pistol, has lots of time, but caught in the air by Goppy, who tries to catch Electronic in transition. In doing not, leaves himself to go down as Fortunately, however, for Electronic, it is now just E remaining versus 3, and Nex has him. It is the half for Big, 8-7. Same score we had in the first game. This time, however, they're in the lead, and Dust 2 has been their map.
Dust 2 is their map, and it's wide open right now. Big with the lead. They'll swerve to the CT side, of course. And that's when the AWP becomes very impactful. That's where you'll see Tabson pick up that secondary AWP as well. He has been phenomenal with that particular weapon. He's been fantastic all tournament. Nice to see him returning back to that form we saw at the PGL Major over in Krakow. And it's been a while, but he's right back into it, finding that superstar form. We'll have a look at the buys as they come in. Technical pause. The ultimate screen there, NaVi still the absolute favourites, but I do feel that Big can pull this map back at least. Hopefully the technical issue won't take too much time here. And we can look at the buy at least. We're going to see 3 sets of Kevlar, 1 smoke and a flashbang. In terms of the CT, he's going to have 1 kit and Tizian. A couple of flashbangs there. No upgraded pistols from I can see just yet. Simple has gone for the P250 armor combo though, so that is going to be quite nice. That means he can go toe-to-toe with the CD players. Whenever I see that, I normally speculate that he's going to be trying to work towards long because it's a very valuable part of the map. The Glocks trying to challenge that corner don't really have the range to justify it, but if you get a P250 out, that does have 1 tap potential and a lot more range than the Glock. So if he wants to go challenge long, he can actually successfully do that. He has got an okay spawn point, not the best, probably like 3rd or 4th in the pecking order, but he is facing in that direction. I would speculate Simple tries to go pick long first. If they get it, they smoke the crossover, try and flash it. It'll be something quite simple but effective. We will see. 1 pause coming home. And we'll see round number 1 of the second half begin. 4 flashbangs in total for CTs, just 1 for NaVi. Simple heads towards long, so presumably he goes first. Electronic might take the bait. There we go. Wants to try and pick the corner. If he gets it, that's when they'll commit.
Flash out, oh my god. Good night, Simple. Down early in rounds quite often as of late. That's going to start to play in his mind. He likes to be alive in important moments. As Edward runs down past the flash, it's actually Tabson that adds yet another Electronic to fall. He's going to continue on. 3 kills so far for him, and he's still in the mix toward long as well because they'll wrap around toward the platform. Flamey, meanwhile, has to protect Edward. Check down towards spawn himself. Shots toward Tizzy and don't yet land. Edward jumps, committing to it. Bomb down between the 2 pairs. They can isolate this and open up the map again if they wanted to wrap back through middle, but still. Gompy holds a bit more damage. And they don't have to react to it, so that's exactly what they wanted to do. They can now hold off one approach to it, but Tizian is doubled up. I say that, all of a sudden Tabson's going to rotate around.
This is going to be such a frustrating round for Big if they give this one up. It could be the collapse of them. 4 on 2, and they're getting picked off one by one. Tabson comes in. He's got 3 kills so far. Does not deserve to lose this round, and he's committing to the ace. Here we go. He absolutely pulls it off. What an amazing round by him. It got very scary at one point because see his coach getting the crowd behind him.
That is insane. The fact that he gives up the bomb, they don't play that passively at all. They were split 2-2. As soon as they lost it, I said there was time. There was. That they could have rotated around. All he had to do, really, in theory, was sit with Tizian, but he takes matters into his own hands and an ace to start off the second half.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yesterday as well, keep in mind, against FaZe, he had something like 2 kills after 10 rounds, maybe. I think it was almost toward the end of the half. I think he had a few more than that. Point is, he finished second on the scoreboard behind Nex, all due to CT contribution. So that's amazing that he starts off with an ace.
That's only his 10th frag, so he had a quiet start on Dust 2
If they get the economy, watch the double op, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's when he really starts to wake up. It was a quiet game from him until that point. But here we go. The force buy comes in from NaVi. Felt like they did enough to pull that pistol back, and this is the boost we did see earlier in the tournament towards those long doors is looking over. We're going to see potential A split coming in here. 3 players heading towards short. Flamey holding the mid doors. Very passive setup from Big. You see Smooya and Tizian inside the B bomb side, allowing middle to be open, but Smooya watches it from the doors. He's only got the MP7. Could be a bit of an issue if the scout comes out first. Simple. Better be using that weapon. Presumably scopes towards the window first, but that damage is significant. Edward eats grenades and goes down to 2 HP.
Smoke off again towards CT. Simple. Desperate to get back into the swing of things. Couldn't find the shot toward the doorway. Knew that there were shots heading over his head from back at A. Back off as well and go toward Cat. Kitty's on fire. They go all around the corner. Tabson has Nex to bait in. It's not just about him. He's gone down without getting a single kill in this, surprisingly. Nex has the MP9, though, and they are weakened up. That means he can try to spray it. Flamey has to respond. Simple gets one on Smooya. What a turnaround, because suddenly they lose Goose. They lose control of Long. It's Gobi that has to swing out. Say hello to the Godfather's little friend as the SMG shuts down everyone, Zeus included.
Pretty remarkable scenes there. Gobi. Sure, they're all weakened up for him, but that's a scary situation to be in. Your A bomb side defense has completely collapsed there, and it seems like NaVi got to run away with the round in the second force buy. It didn't happen for them. They didn't even get a plant out of it. It will be Big recovering the situation and farming a lot of cash at the same time. Simple. They've force bought this. That's a ballsy play. They've gone for the Deagle CZ scout combo, all with armor, and a little bit of utility. I guess it's because of this reason. Big are going to assume it's a full eco here. Smooya needs the double kill. He's going to get it, maybe one more. It's Zeus to take him down eventually, but the damage has been done.
Damage has. 2 is all he needed in that. They can work off of it. Bomb still, just to note, well down, or left down toward T-spawn. We'll grab it now. Zeus to go in. Tizian, good positioning. Edward still holds to give them the chance to go elsewhere should they elect to. Tizian decides he's had enough of standing around doing nothing. Jumps down and spots Zeus. Takes him on to 30 HP. Well, Nex is still inside of the site behind boxes. So they will go back around. Edward holding does give them the option. I said that, and that allows Simple as well to use the only utility he had and throw in a smoke to try and keep them there long enough. Remember, a smoke, full animation I think is 18 seconds, but it's about 13 that it's irrelevant, that you can't get any information behind it.
30 seconds now. Edward, Zeus and Simple make their way towards A. They managed to get kills with these pistols before. Can they replicate that again? Gonna have to take some very precise deagle shots, or maybe one from the scout. And it's gonna be a drop down with the bomb, and that's gonna signify the round being over, because Zeus can do nothing about this. What? He still can't plant.
Yeah, doesn't matter. He gets 2 kills. He certainly makes this matter economically. Gets away with 1 HP as well. He'll hold an M4, but he cannot get to the bomb, so Big just barely get away with the round. The kill on the drop, if that went the other way and the bomb was held, that round does fall apart.
Definitely makes it expensive. So far, so good though for Big. And remember, that was the force buy. Again, 2 in a row from NaVi, and they haven't got a plant down at all in this half. And Zeus will get no money for that round at all. He gets a few kills, however, so that'll give him $900. But that's about it, Matt. He's got the M4 armor, and they've got an average about $2,400 per player. Do they force into this again and completely destroy their own game out of force buying? Or do they have to concede and let another round slip by and take the full eco? Electronics already decided they're forcing again. This is a scary situation for them. Now, Simple's going to purchase the AK. He hasn't got armor. Presumably he has to drop that to Electronic. Or does he just straight up use it? No Kevlar, AK. Give it a go. This is such a scary moment. They've completely destroyed their own finances here. Hope they can pull it off.
And Zeus doesn't get much damage done on the Tapson, and the nade heading the other direction puts him down to 56. Flashback over. Do they want to reclaim territory? Doesn't appear so. Meanwhile, look at the push at B. Smooya and Tizian are both all the way up inside of the tunnels. Smooya, remember, has the AWP, and Flamey's heading back that direction. Good opener again from Big.
Yeah, Smooya's been very good at doing that. So he takes the AWP towards B. He doesn't just sit at the back of the site. He'll play actively right in front of the tunnel, sometimes pushing in just like that. He had some backup from a teammate as well. They get a nice opening pick. They got some information. Tapson got a lot more than he bargained for. As he's holding towards Sean, taken down by a deadly bullet from Electronic. 4-on-4 now. And that's another rifle given up, so they can go recover. It's actually the AWP. If they can get that to Simple, that would be fantastic. As we get into a 4-on-4, low HP on Zeus, and Tizian below half as well. So there's the AWP. Zeus is confirmed, it's clear. Can they get it in the hands of Simple now? Zeus is going to use it? Okay, good call. Give it a Simple.
Yeah, that's probably the one you want to have it. We'll see if he can do anything with it. He looks toward the ramp. This should be a shot toward next. Surely he gets an angle next. Pulls back Electronic. Simple's unsure of what to do with 19 seconds. He just wants to get to the site with the bomb. The fact that Edwards out toward long means he'll get the plant as well. But Zeus is so low in the corner. He's going to try and hug the wall and catch off Tizzy and further smoke down.
This is a difficult round now. They've got Smooth on the AWP. He's all the way to the mid-doors right now. Tizian, you can see the crowd trying to help him out somewhat. He is aware as a player right by him. Can he find the shot though? Bomb ticking away. Flashbang not going to be too effective here, but the shots from Simple and Zeus certainly are. Now it's a 2 versus 1. Yeah. And the force buy that absolutely had to work out for NaVi. Here's a complete success here. 2 versus 1, and a guaranteed round as that bomb goes off. You know, as soon as they took down the AWP of Tapson, that's when the round turned around. That's when Electronic gets 2 kills. Great AK shot towards short. Smooya does save the AWP. Oh, does he? Oh my goodness. Edward removes it. And that's the money completely reset now for Big. There's a reason those force buys are coming in from NaVi, is because they made the last few rounds very expensive. They took massive manpower down, and the fact they find all 5 there is going to bring Big into a force where they'd be double eco anyway, so I think this will give us CZs, Deagles, and a Scout as we enter round number 20. Mac 10 out for Zeus, and Tizian's been hit by the opening shot from Simple.
Flamey gets in behind Dumpster, does spot Godby running down toward the position, and any hopes that they would have of having a crossfire that was undetected. That goes out the window. Damage is being applied. As Flamey gets up above, you're right, this will give them an angle to Godby he might not anticipate, although having already gotten a kill, that'll be relayed to him. Good flash, forced off of it, but removed only with 4 HP. Not hard, as Tizian now sits with 13, Smooya 32. I think 11-9 looking almost inevitable at this point.
I think you might be right, and then there's an eco to go after that. Smooya, though, a slight chance he can do something about this. He's 32 HP. Scout in hand, it would take some very precise and quick shots, but that's his specialty. Starts to edge around the corner now. Knows he needs to connect at least one of these shots and fall back. He's got Flamey right next to him. That's not a one-shot kill. The Scout, he does need to hit the head still, even with 76. Not going to happen. Smooya goes down, but Nex does not. Has he got anything left? He's low HP, but Zeus doesn't want to overcommit, so finally gets him with the pistol. And Tizian, the last player remaining. 4 to find, and can't even get the first because he narrowly misses out on the shot. He's got low HP, and he's going to change position now.
11-9 is done. Big, still without any money.
Yeah, that force spike didn't do too much for them. 1 kill, and they're going to be full eco next round. But we're double eco anyway, so the buy is neither here nor there, really.
Yeah, this round specifically, neither here nor there. Just looking at consideration from the other side, because NaVi isn't extremely well off aside from Edward and Simple. If they had a few more kills on this, they could have given themselves a chance to break them down much sooner. The problem now is in this double eco. Not only have they put themselves in a hole, they haven't done enough damage to NaVi, meaning they can build up a few better rounds as well. To buy, I mean, rather than actually putting them on the scoreboard, but it takes 1 or 2 to break them down and wear them out of their weapons.
There we have it. Should be the full eco. Tizian the saves, the CZ, and Kevlar. They're discussing their options right now, trying to work out what the next round will bring. Mac 10 for Flamey, perfect weapon for these sort of situations. Very squishy players available on the other side, 4 of them without armor. And with default weaponry, should be the perfect opportunity to find double digits here. He overcommits to the pick a little bit there. Edward down to 7 HP.
He looks back through the doors at mid, no one on the other side of it. Happy to run the SMG. So Edward picks up the AWP, despite that he's the one with the least amount of health. They won't rely on it, knowing they're against the pistols. They'll just hope to run down, specifically in this case, Smooya, and then just get the plant, get it over with. It's round 22, we anticipate. This one is just a matter of course. That's going as it should so far. Maybe running Mac 10 to get the kill, even more important, I suppose, from his perspective. Chance he gets one towards CT, given they're low, fair enough. Now they're getting the kills that certainly would have benefited them in the last round. They've got the man advantage, still not a lot to work with. And given that they've already spotted 1 SMG, they might not be too hungry to try and pursue any further kills because they also don't want to give money away.
Oh, it's actually getting pretty uncomfortable here.
Very.
CTs, I don't think they can win the round, but they might be able to take all 5 down. Electronic will help out Zeus there with the frag, and Tizian with the Mac 10. Oh, that's your teammate.
Yeah, you're right about getting all 5 down. That has to be the goal. Get the bomb to take them down. As it detonates, Zeus is on it. He might get away. The other 2 are already scurrying toward the tunnel, so I think the op stays alive in this case. Does Zeus from this position? Yeah. Not quite. Nope, he's gone. Tizian, Edward, and Simple will, though, and that means the op is carried over.
That's exactly what they wanted, though. Big, just take 3 players down. They don't have to shoot them there. Just keep applying the pressure. And Zeus did go down with a blast. Absolutely cracking stuff. Double digits so for NaVi. They've pulled this back with 3 rounds in a row. The gap was getting a little bit worrying for them. And another partial buy, Matt, has to come in for Big here. CZs again, Mac 10, saving the previous round. They've got decent utility, though. They've got 2 smokes and 4 HE grenades, and we know how powerful they can be with those. Where do they plan on using them? I think they dumped most of them at the start towards the long doors. No one was in there this time. Edward learned his lesson from the previous rounds.
Lower tunnels has already gotten past the point of detection from short. Smoke down as well. Met Tapson couldn't have a chance in doing so. Haven't seen the boost yet today. So Big do a fantastic job last round of getting 3 kills. For the aforementioned reasons. Trying to keep that economy somewhat light. That said, there's still 77.50, 88.50 for Edward. Simple, the previous one I mentioned. Next, good start, gets the M4, pulls back out, goes through and finds Simple, chance in it as he actually shuts down Electronic, and Nex is full of sex as he shuts out Zeus. It is damn fine, all on Flamey. How the hell do you turn that around?
Absolutely sensational scenes. Nex getting it done, and this round is a foregone conclusion at this point. Tizian will be dropped, but surely Flamey can do nothing with this whatsoever. Smoke goes down. He's got a Molotov towards the window, hoping that baits out a rotation from lower B. They're assuming he's gone towards the site, and they would be completely wrong. Another kill available for him. Surely this isn't possible.
Seen a few fine aces. Croman's yesterday's up there. Tapson's in the pistol today. This, I think, would top them all. Given the circumstances, given that we were about to go to a tie game, they were in a triple eco situation, and he's got all 5. What a round. Edward will be kicking himself for giving away that M4.
Absolutely. That was another partial buy for the CTs, and NaVi have given up a lot of ecos so far in this series, and here's Nex.
You pointed it out yesterday that Nex has always been incredible on Dust 2. Duncan tweeted it. Nico's going to be wondering where the hell that Nex was 2 years ago when they were on Mouse Sports. He's at 29 kills. The next best on his team has 12.
What a resurgence. He was amazing in 2015. He was the big talent in Germany, maybe the only one at that point. And it's just remarkable to see him come back and start hitting those big numbers once again. 29 frags after 22 rounds. Pretty insane. Flamey top fragging for NaVi with 21. We get into the next round though. Another buy available for NaVi. A big steal one back with the CZs.
Simple holds to catwalk. Interestingly, this becomes a reset round after being 2 force buys and an eco. But Big can put the nail eventually a little bit deeper into the coffin. I won't say all the way there yet. Good shot from Simple to start off. This time he actually wins the duel against Smooya, but Tizian responds. So they're not out of the woods yet with the opening pick. NaVi and Zeus is taking a bit of damage from the Flames, manages the drop down. They'll split toward B. Good rotation, therefore, from Gob at B, because he'll be able to spot them. Simple, in turn, has not seen him, but now he's aware, as he always seems to be. But Gob B was posted and ready and left nothing to be desired. Knew that there was a possibility a player would turn around and check it. Zeus tries to hold off. They knew he'd gone into the corner. They find him. Edwards in the sight, but they already pushed back through tunnels, which means they completely surround him. And Tizian gets the shot. Great mid-round calls from Big, from Goppy, and now it's on to Electronic, trying to isolate. Oh, himself! He reads it! He reads it! And an arc! A power surge right through 2!
What the hell just happened there? You were absolutely spot on. Big made some sensational plays there, getting the information, backstabbing their opposition. It looked like the bomb going down was as good as it was going to get for NaVi, as Electronic completely destroys them there. The problem is, they all did go in at the same point. They could have been a lot smarter with the approach. One in the door, one at the window, then face the tunnel. They got in at the same point. He doesn't have to aim at the second player. That's remarkable, and this could be a difficult situation to recover from.
Unfortunately, in this case, it's not the thought that counts.
Yeah.
They did the right thing. They wanted to try and trade off of him and overwhelm him, but man, he read it, and they just gifted it.
Well, this one's certainly starting to heat up now. We're having some massive moments from both teams. An eco victory before from Big, and a 1 versus 4 from Electronic. Absolutely sensational play by him. First kill for Tapson there. They've got the double orb setup. Hasn't affected them too much. They still have the rifles, the AWPs, as Smooya gets a second kill.
Still a chance to pull this back for Big, despite heartbreak in the last round. Reset certainly comes in after 3, but given that it was an eco, or force buy, if you will, with the CZ win, bought them some space. Tapson finally gets that double op rolling. 1 kill apiece for the AWPs as Nex and Gabi start to push up. Gabi has a CZ himself this round, but he'll be able to go first. Although I say that, Molotov segregates, doesn't even matter. They find Nex behind him. He gets the bomb down temporarily, can't get a gun. He's stuck in the corner. They try and chase him, and he can't get away.
It's going to be another tight round here at 30 seconds. It's a 3 versus 2. Tizian in a great position to lock them down here. AK-47 in towards lower B. If they went in that position, he would absolutely be taken down. Edward, Zeus make their way up towards A. Tapson does have the AWP, so good at this angle. Watch out for him. You feel like he's in an L, and he's one of these shots. There it is. That should be the round now. Edward with it all to do. Bomb will be planted. Can he find anything more?
Tapson not leaving anything on the table. Doesn't go back to play safe. How does Smooya? Give me that guy's config. He's able to jump up every single time. That's his 4th elevator jump kill this weekend. Gets it once more. They'll take the round as well. Incredible performance again, but tabseN, you can see it. As soon as that bomb plant came in, he didn't care. He didn't want to go back to work pit. He didn't want to play it safe and get the angle. They just said, run him down. We know where he is. He's forced to commit. And Big have a 2-round lead on 13, and now finally they'll put NaVi with little to work with and back down to just the hand weapons. I say that. There's a reason for the timeout. Simple's not quite 2-0, but they could go for the tactical purchase, and NaVi is one of the teams that has utilized this so many times in the past, bringing out a guy of Simple's caliber and giving him the 1 AK and trying to let him go to work. So we'll see what they elect to do. They could play this safe. Big's not anywhere near map point yet. Still would only hit 14 if they concede this round, and that would strengthen their purchase moving forward. It's a more conservative approach.
Mat 10 is out. And this is another force by the looks of things, Matt. Jalil AK, 2 pistols and a Mac 10. This could be the end of it. There is no loss bonus built up on either side for that matter. But if NaVi give this one away, they'll be 14-11 down and be completely broken for the cash. Big looking on course right now, but the B rush coming through. Tizian hasn't connected the bullets, but there they go! He does find 2 and the smoke's still down. He's pushed them right off. The B rush, the Hail Mary play has not worked out so far.
Flashes again. tabseN's able to take out Flamey as a result of it. Simple has to rotate back around. They went for it. So now map point does become a problem. Conservative was never the case, as B again is able to push out long. They take any bit you give them. We saw it yesterday. They're willing to push B when they lose out long themselves on the CT side. B wasn't as effective. He did get into this long corridor a few times. Remember, late in that game as well against FaZe, he nearly gave it up by pushing. You called it. He thought they went for a boost on the FaZe side. He pushed out, went down. He hasn't pushed today, maybe with that in his mind, but it works this time in Big find round 14. In doing so, this time the money is gone.
Like I said, that should be in now. It's going to force NaVi into another situation where they just don't have the bankroll to get anything going, but they can't allow Big to get to that point. They will force into it. CZ, Steagles, they rushed B before. It really didn't work out for them. Great utility usage as usual from Big. Smoke down there, grenades in, full spray. You don't really have to aim, you just spray wildly into the tunnel. Didn't look like it was going to work initially, but then found 2 out of nowhere. Round 26, Big looking for that map point, and by the looks of things, they're going to get it. 5 pistols up against him here. And they've got a nice little setup. tabseN with that all towards short. Next beneath, he's going to hit this first shot. Make it 2. Make it 2.
It was still the first shot, you didn't lie, but he gets both kills. They wrap around, they're low on HP. Electronic still trying to battle back valiantly, but now Next steps up, and tabseN has relocated, reset. B gets the final kill, 15 rounds.
Well, there we have it. The force spy completely shut down by tabseN. Nice angle for him to hold. As I said, I thought he's at least going to get 1 here. Found 2 with 1 bullet. Always quite a special moment when that happens. Oh, right through the shoulder of the second. And there has to be pistols again, Matt. 4 rounds in a row required for overtime. I don't think they'll get anywhere near it at this point. They just don't have the finances to make anything happen here. It would take a catastrophe of a play from Big to give this round away.
B, here we go. We mentioned it. He flirts with the idea. This time backs off, knowing the situation, the gravitas of losing a weapon. We saw what that can do when Next picked up the M4.
Absolutely.
And here we go. Narrow choke point again. Fires in back to Electronic.
5 versus 4. Nice pick from Godby. Doesn't overcommit to the angle as well. He falls back. He knows this is map point. I've got there's the opening. And now my teammates with the crossfires can finish things off. tabseN hasn't really missed much at all in this second half. There's 2 kills to go. Make it 1, Zeus. With 5 players up against him, but that's going to be it. Absolutely no chance for him. Smoothie to finish things off. 16-11 as Big bounce back here in the grand final. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and they'll take map number 2. Potential of 5 coming up here. Great scenes from them, and they've shown us once more their CT side is pretty impenetrable.
Unbeaten in the Lexus on Dust 2, you're right. The CT side has been remarkable. Remember, I said the series almost starts here in some ways. If they had stole Overpass, they go to Train next. Remember, they beat FaZe on Train yesterday, so there's a chance Slim one, but a chance they could actually pull this back in their favor after the 3 maps are completed. You said it, there's a potential for 5, and I wouldn't be surprised we see all of them at this rate.
Incendiary out.
Absolute insanity. Quite the scene, I would say so. Who's your guess?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll narrow it down. I got a lifeline for you as well. Is it Warden? Is it Shoxy? Or is it Scream?
Scream? Shoxy.
Oh my goodness, it is Shox. Unfortunately, you have taken the biggest L today. But I do have something for both of you, courtesy of Betway. I've got collectible pins, of course, right there. Congratulations, guys. Now, Cologne, I think we're almost ready to get into train, but before we do that, we're going to be going to the desk where Alex and the boys are going to try to make some sense of this big clan on Dust 2.
Yes, Big Clan do manage to steady the ship. It looked like it was spinning out of control after their first performance on map 1 Overpass, but Dust 2 does bring things back into a level stead in this best of 5.
Sounds like there's a foghorn for that ship.
Yeah, it does sound like it's actually in the Lanxess.
It is actually a Vuvuzela. I can see
Someone
it.
tweeted me saying, I don't know how to say the word, so I'm never going to say it again.
But you don't know how to say
apparently
it.
I'm mispronouncing it. Vuvuzela?
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Well, screw you, Twitter guy.
Yeah, you got him.
I told you, didn't I? Anyway, statistically, we knew that NaVi had never won Dust 2. I just had a little dig. I mean, between, you know, since its induction to the map pool, they've played it 4 times and lost it every single time. Does this mean that we don't give any credit to Big, or they still managed to bring it home?
Oh, no, you absolutely give credit to Big, because NaVi, despite not being very well versed on the map, they still have great individuals, and they were making some sick individual plays, like obviously the electronic 1v4 towards the end of the game. But you know, Big was able to come back time and time again. In some of the eco rounds that they won, it wasn't, you know, hitting some lucky shots and then just, pistols are overpowered. No, there was a thought process behind those rounds. There was good utility usage yet again. So Big definitely showed why they are the better team on Dust 2.
Chad, words out of your mouth before the microphone was there, talking about electronic and perhaps making a strong case for that MVP.
Yeah, he's showing up in spades, having some really big rounds, and obviously without winning that map, he did have that 1-on-4 situation over towards that B-bomb site. If he can continue this form, I think he's actually playing probably better than Simple at this point, having more impact throughout. We've only 2 maps deep, so there's still a lot of Counter-Strike to be played, but we really need to talk about Nex. The thing is, a lot of people here maybe weren't watching Counter-Strike back when he was in the Mouse Sports days with God B, and this is the thing, Nex was meant to be the coming home of German Counter-Strike. He was meant to be the guy leading and just fragging out huge. It never eventuated. They'd always make it to stages and he would just fall flat. He's had a big growth in the last 3 years to step up and drop 30 kills against a NaVi in front of a crowd like this.
125 ADR.
Big game.
9 multi-kill rounds. Like, this seems to be his forte, is taking at least 2 with him every single time.
And the ace on that, you know,
that's huge.
Force buy where they had only 1 save gun, gets 1 with the CZ, and then everyone else with the M4. That kind of turned the tide of the game towards their favor.
Yeah, it was really impressive.
There were some potato decisions.
Talk to me.
By NaVi, just a couple. There's some fundamental things on Dust 2 that, like, when they came back into the pool and teams were getting their footing back on it, and I'm like, guys, this is very basic. Dust 2's been out forever now. When you lose certain parts of the map, you need to react in certain ways. And I thought NaVi would know how to do that. But these are the players who I credit as, you know, being gods of the game. Even Simple's making poor decisions when territory has been taken away.
An interesting correlation that I've managed to find just by digging through HLTV is simply that their conversion, NaVi's conversion when conceding the first death was abysmally low. Of course, I mean, when you're losing the map, but still, 15% from NaVi. And if you take a look at opening kills, 0-3 for Zeus, 0-3 for Edward. This is the bad one, 3-7 to Simple. He died 7 times as the opening frag. I mean, that's just contrary to what you're looking for as NaVi.
Yeah, I think it also comes from, you know, them not being very well practiced on the map, so he feels like he needs to try and make more individual plays, and you'll see it actually on a couple of rounds that we picked out here. One is what Chad was talking about early on. It was actually the first gun round really of the game. And what's interesting there is some of the most basic things about Dust 2 really are, if you lose long control, you have to go try and take cat. If you lose both cat and long, that's where you really struggle. You can't try to hold the side. You really have to fall back. So you will see it on the minimap very early on in that round. Big towards long, they get map control. Zeus was there, he falls back. They still have Simple on catwalk, so that's at least good for them. They still have that control, and they can try and isolate that area of the map. But as time on the round clears, you will see that Big has actually rotated, and now this is ideal for them. They have that split, and I think in this situation, Simple has nothing to do in the side, because that smoke is not going to stop Big to push through. You will see what happens. They're a bit in limbo. They were expecting a mid to B, that's why they were in 2-1-2 setup, but still you need to be able to adapt mid-round, and this is where they should have just fallen back, conceded the bomb side, and tried to play for the retake, or maybe even outright save. You can see the great timing from Big players. They get rid of Simple and Zeus, and that's round over, and that gave you a lot of fear for NaVi early on, that they were struggling in that sort of a situation.
Something to add, Chad?
Yeah, there's lots of protocols that you can have in place there. As soon as you do lose Cat and you do lose Long, like Zeus lost that very early. He should have definitely gone to help Simple. They could have at least retained that part of the map or traded out efficiently. Or the other option is just drop into CT spawn and play the post plant. You want to take mid control back in that scenario. You flash over, you push out, you take control of that, and then you can flank them, give them the bomb site, and play the retake.
But fear not, Alex. They maybe not understand the map very much, but they have guys like Electronic. He's going to win you a 1v4. But I always say it's not about losing that 4v1. It's about not losing the game because of one round. And how does Big bounce back after that 4v1 loss? You can see that round. Obviously, it's not going to be ideal for Big. When you look at their utility, their buy, they have a double up. I think that's something that NaVi would not expect. So you can see them deciding to buy at the very end of the freeze time. It was actually super close, a bit late to come out of spawn. And what do we see early on? We see NaVi being able to come out long. We see this very interesting setup from Smuja and Tizian. Also, you can see it from their POV. It's going to look really interesting. Keep an eye out for Tabzen, who's watching out long with one op, and Smuja and Tizian, as you can see in the minimap, they're right next to each other. And what's interesting here, they're playing passive, they're trying to get those picks, but there's a plan behind this. There is a setup. Let's try to pressure B, pressure Catwalk, and have hope that Tabzen can contain long by himself. And what happens, Simple feels forced to try and make a play. He picks into Tabzen, he gets an easy kill, and after that you are going to see just Smuja and Tizian again with that aggressive pick. Easy 5v3 situation, and after that they just cleared the round properly and bounced back immediately. A lot of teams would have crumbled after that 4v1 loss.
Yes, and that now bounces them into Train. I want to get a couple of words out for this third map. Now, of course, statistically much stronger for both, so I was going to say for both sides, more for NaVi than it is Big. Is this where we return to normality, Chad, in your expectations?
I don't know. Yesterday was such a close game against FaZe, right? There was a lot of clutches, a lot of force fire rounds that happened there, which could have swung the tide either way. And like Dust 2, Big showed that they have a lot of diversity on their CT side on how they want to broach different situations to bolster the defense. They have a lot of plays, they have a lot of practiced moves, and that's something which can be quite scary because the way NaVi plays is a lot looser. You saw their Train CT side earlier in the tournament, going very close pop, going very close in the T-mid, and then the later stages putting aggression on Ivy. If that's something that can be shut down and identified by Big on their T side early, this is where it gets very difficult for NaVi, unable to make any plays.
This same roster of Big have conceded big losses to poor teams on this map 2 months ago, Yanko. They've turned it around.
Yeah, this is where the series get really difficult for them because all the maps that are remaining, NaVi knows what to do on them and they're really, really strong. And I feel like actually Train is a must-win for Big. When you look at the series, can you see them win both Inferno and Nuke? I think that's unlikely. So I think if anything, Big need to focus on Train and Inferno as two maps to close this series out.
It all comes down to that then for Big. I mean, the Inferno nuke just seems too much to handle, Chad.
Yeah, look, I think that's probably a fair statement. Train, I think we need to see Simple come alive, though, because he can be such a linchpin. They do need to bolster that inner defense. They got to make sure that Zeus isn't going to be too isolated there. And he is one of the men who rotates over along with Flamey.
You can hear the crowd. They know exactly what that means. We are going back into the fray. Big versus NaVi. Our analysts suggest that if they want the series, if they want the trophy, they have to win Train. Let's see if they're on track. Back with your casters.
Train and then Inferno. But we start out here. Again, yesterday they were triumphant on this map in another incredible fashion. It's going to be immediately toward the outer yard that NaVi takes pose and sends Electronic with a smoke to allow Edward on entry. Tapson's gone back up toward the E-box. Try and shut it down with the USP. Next instead finds Simple, but still he's got to find a shot before he's forced to back off. Gobi's going to protect him. Two over the shoulder. Finally, Edward gets position and overwhelms them, so not done yet.
Wow, Edward getting it done. But it looks like Smuja and Tizian now take care of Zeus. Edward will now need the ace to finish this one off. 3 kills in front of him with the bomb down by main entrance. The CTs to see to stick together and give him multiple targets. Fantastic stuff from Next. Kick things off, a lovely shot. It really did set his teammates up at that point. Got B with 2 crucial frags towards the main entrance. Nothing too technical there from NaVi, just a quick main push. 1 smoke and a flashbang going over, but Next looks incredibly comfortable playing in front of the smoke and the flash. And no bomb planted again for NaVi. They'll be forcing in the second round from what I can see so far. Deagles and 1 scout. They only have 2 flashbangs though. It's very difficult to make these rounds work for you on a map like Train. You have no smokes to get a point of access to even push CTs back. Tabson playing by the server. Smoke down, of course. He has got the MP7, a weapon we're seeing a lot more of at this particular tournament since its price reduction. Bomb down in T-spawn. NaVi at this point just waiting for initial utility to go down and then try and challenge these choke points for an opening.
Scout nearly finds an angle, but instead Simple takes damage, forced back onto 19.
Just a note, it's Edward that drops the Scout for Simple, so he can get the armor as well. Allows him to be a lot stronger challenge towards main entrance, where he'll be very vulnerable to grenades. And Tizian now doesn't have to commit to this frag. He knows that they're in the brown halls, but holding a decent angle. MP7 works best at close range. It's going to be getting back on the site. He has got backup from God B. He's got the rifle towards the backtracks now.
Edward couldn't quite land the deagle shot. Will try his best again. So very kind of Edward to support Simple's endeavor. Holds crossfire set, bottom of the ramp. Tizian, sprayed all his ammunition, had to go to the pistol, wrong time to do so, gets taken down by Zeus, but thankfully Smuya's got an angle that responds. Still though, they get close to the site, low HP, Gobby should have an easy time denying the plants, and greeting Flamey inside of the smoke. He'll go for a third kill, as Simple's already low, and makes do on it. Good play from Gobby, 2-0 for Big.
No bomb planted once again, Big. Managed to keep 3 players alive. It's going to be the full eco now for NaVi, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. How do you even get towards the inside bomb site with a couple of flashbangs and a scout? It's not really going to happen for them. And they lose 2 kills, but Big looking very comfortable and calm, even jovial. As you can see, Smuya having a great time now on the stage, and why not? Nothing to lose, really. No one expected them to make it to the playoffs, other than the grand final. They've gone above and beyond expectations. If they win this, that'll be absolutely incredible for them. Locks 1 deagle, no armor, and a similar situation. Going towards inside, they've got a smoke this time. And 1 flashbang, presumably smoke down the lower round, flash over, try and trade out a frag and get that bomb planted.
Crossfire flash to go mid-sight. Covers off next. Tizian's got the opener. Gobby's already struck before the utility, and he's got 2 more. Looking very, very solid, Gobby, in the support role at B, as he has been in the last 2 rounds. Rotating over, he assists next. If I'm not mistaken, that he should lead the way with 8 kills now. 3-0 for Big, but we get guns for NaVi and AWP based on that early buy for Simple.
Indeed. Remember, it was FaZe that picked Train against Big yesterday, and we couldn't really work it out. Why would you pick a map that seems to suit the playstyle of Big down to a T? You can't really challenge for kills on the CT side. There's lots of execution, lots of fakes available. You'd feel like you would avoid this. I kind of feel like Big are taking this map. The way NaVi have been playing, and they've looked sloppy. Their anti-eco situation is getting out of hand, and this is a play we saw a lot of. Pushing that lower ramp, they were bullying FaZe with that. And they do the same here. It's a bonus round. They've still got the MP7s, the FAMASs, and they go for an early pick, considering that's the kind of weaponry they have to deal with. And now they got the opening kill, taking down Edward. 5 on 4.
Electronic just barely missed an opportunity to find Tapsin retreating. MP7 only for Tapsin, but an AK to go against him. And Electronic checking the corner should quickly find a headshot with good crosshair placement. Does that and follows it to find Smuya. That'll be the only response. Again, a bit of a bonus round. Not the end of the world if they lose this. Still, though, they have it in a 3 versus 3. Electronic on 1. Means that that SMG, I say that, the only one remaining, Goppy on the MP9, has a chance.
3 on 3. Remember, like I said, bonus round for Big. If they get this, that's going to mean they're so set up financially, even if they lose the round, as long as it's close, as long as they bring it down to maybe a 1 versus 1, they still have a full buy next round. NaVi probably won't. Zeus now makes his way out of Pop Dog. There's no real presence towards our side, just got B at the backtracks there watching the bomb train. 20 seconds now. Somehow does a lot of damage with the deagle. Next will finish things off, and Electronic has 1 HP here.
Simple runs down to try and get the bomb planted. Goffey's the one who can swing out to spot it. Electronic, good effort, but again, he was so low, nothing he could really do to take the fights, and despite getting the bomb planted, a defuse comes in immediately after. Now that does give a little bit more money to NaVi, which will now have the 4th round bonus plus that plant, so watch for the force.
Brilliant stuff from Big. Now they get rid of those SMGs, man. They steal away those AK-47s. It's got B playing excellently here on Train. He's got 11 kills now. Yeah. And that's a huge round for them to pick up. 4-0. They've got tons of money. They've now got AK-47s upgrading from their SMGs. And NaVi are not looking their best. They're not the high-flying favorites anymore. This is them with their backs to the wall. They do get the bomb down, though, however. In the 4th stage loss bonus, it seems like they will still buy with it, but they're going to be limited on the utility, and that has been a massive issue for them so far in this particular half. They will call for a timeout, but I think they missed the mark. They went for the timeout right at the end of that freeze time, and they're not going to get it. They were too late.
Ooh, that's frustrating. Zeus better hope he can make his point quite clear as quickly as he dares, well, because they're getting aggressive. Smooya's already got the op toward the hitch.
Edward, everyone else pretty much fully invested. Edward still has 3K. He just bought a Deagle, no armor. So it's very, very mishmash in terms of the synergy of the buy. Not everyone's completely on the same page.
Oh, Electronic. Sneaky. In behind, nearly. Spray transfers it over to find Gobby. It will still do enough damage to allow Flamey the kill, but Smooya makes amends on the AWP. Still a man down. Now back off to Old Bomb. That gives him coverage. Ivy, where Zeus waits as Edward tries to get in position. Tizian will wrap all the way around the outback. As Moses calls it toward that position. Missed shot from Zeus. And it's back to a 2 versus 2. Make that one better. Simple disposed of. No bomb plant as of yet for Edward. He has time to commit to it. Knows that they're removed from the picture, or at least directly close to him, and therefore puts it down, backs away. Still a chance the AK can pull it off. But there is kits for both. Incendiary, Molotov, and a flash. Excuse me, and a smoke, rather than the Molotov. So yes, they can get that on top of it, try and hold for the defuse. Edward makes contact. Gets the better in the exchange, takes Tizzy into 42, but he stays alive. That's the important part, because now they have the information as to where he is. They can play it as a team. Smooya with the op, now the only one left. Good find from Edward on the second approach. Gets above as well, fakes off of it. Smooya knows it. He's on the bomb, smoke is too. Does Edward realize it? Goes out, he's got a wrong, oh, just barely finds the headshot.
Difficult buy there. Frustrating start with the timeout not being called, but NaVi have Electronic, who makes his way out towards the outside bomb site, opens things up with 2 kills, but certainly wasn't the clean finish they were looking for. Edward in the 2 versus 1, the smoke on the bomb as well. Smooya with the AWP, lost track of it, went for the 4 defuse and was about a second away from getting it. Edward does win the round and recover the AWP, but like we said, there is absolutely bucket loads of cash for Big. They can go for the double AWP setup here, and that's when they looked their absolute scariest against FaZe yesterday. A chance to reset NaVi, only 1 player surviving the previous round. Makes things very expensive indeed. Round 6 coming up, 4-1 overall. It's a very CT-sided map, so great start for Big. Tizian with the final purchase there. Getting to round number 6, and Simple has got the AWP now.
Smooya a little bit closer this time with the AWP, rather than playing back toward the hitch. Similar angle, but very different in that it gets him forward of the utility, which is now displayed by bringing up the map. With the brown holes, it's Simple. Still looking to find where Tizian has gone. Patience for Tizian. Doesn't want to overextend on it, rightfully so, with it being guarded. Clearly, utility wins that battle either direction. Tizian flash himself in, but can't be flashed from a teammate. Smooya were to get a little bit closer. Smoke down Molotov as well. So Zeus knows he's locked anyone to the left completely out of it. They can't push back through it until that Molotov is gone. It is now flash in. They want to push. Goffey knows they're there. Lets them go. He's going to use the smoke. Oh, undetectable. Delectable. Takes down Zeus immediately. Electronic gets found by Gabi immediately after. Good swing, good read. He knew his second one was gone somewhere. He let them go and played so invasively inside of that smoke that he read it like a book, but now it's Flamey to try and pull back to the bomb. Taps in up close, Simple to hold it. He's left in a 1 versus 4, but a first kill was gifted to him based on the position. Anything beyond that, he's got to run into the man who's captaining this whole ship, Gabi, with another 3 kills. Is he a coach or a cheerleader?
He's getting out in the front of the stage and getting everyone hyped up. Got to respect him. And it will be 5-1 and a huge reset.
If we get a timeout because the coach's headset isn't working, it's because he's unplugged the cable running around the front of the stage.
That's a very good point. Yeah, he would have to do that. Well, there you go. It will be round number 7 coming in, and that is the complete reset. So NaVi only get $1,400 into this round. Simple's purchased up the Scouts. Bigger looking so comfortable here on train. Their CT sides have been pretty epic. This shouldn't be any different. Edward and Flamey holding towards inside, but my goodness, that's a hell of a shot. That gives up an orb. Okay, now looking a little bit more interesting. They have an AWP, Scout, and 3 pistols.
I will confirm the head admin, Mihai, was just on stage, likely having a word with Legia. One of 2 reasons, if not the cable, but also it probably is against the spirit of the rules to go forward of the line of sight from the players, because if he happens to see a monitor while he's out there, one of the screens for the stage, or anything of that nature, it would be a problem. Great to see the emotion, don't get me wrong. Awesome performance from Big throughout, but not surprised that that word was whispered in his ear. Flamey, Scout goes back around and can't find the shot this time.
Have you ever seen anything like that before, though? The coach actually running out on the stage.
This stage is full of performances. I think we had Jordan Gilbert on here topless last year.
Yeah, I think it might have been the year before. I'm not sure, but yes, that has happened. There's Gabi getting it done with the silence M4, but this is still looking uncomfortable. But Tapson starts to stabilize things here. 3-on-3 once again with the orb still in hands of Simple, but look at the time. 15 seconds here, nowhere near the bomb site, and Tapson knows it. He can just find one of these kills, that should be enough. Bomb going to get near to the side now, but not for long. Flamey taken down, and Simple will find the kill. Is that time to plant? Yeah, they might have it. They might have it.
Just barely.
It's going to go down. Tizian was hoping they didn't have time to get the bomb planted, but there it is. 2 versus 1 now for him.
Do they know? I don't think they know Tizian's coming from Pop Dog. Yeah, they must, because Electronic was sitting right behind Simple, staring at only that doorway when they desperately held that plant. Now they certainly know where he is, as Simple was trying to slide out with the AWP, but damage onto him and getting closer to the same position. It's a double position for them as Simple reads it. Knew that Tizian was wrapping around and never even spotted Electronic in the corner. Another round for NaVi, at least this time. Keep a few alive, and they avoid, although going 1-1-1, they avoid potential reset, can bring guns back out. They wear down the economy on the other side.
Just to note, while we're here, Gabi, after 7 rounds of play, has 16 kills and 2 deaths. Pretty remarkable numbers for the old boy. The Scouts in the hands of Smooya this time. AWP giving up and the eco going in favor of NaVi. They've lost a lot of ecos, or lost 2 ecos today, and it's nice for them to pick one up. 5-2, it's a lot of work to do, but it's going to be a bit of a lifeline here, considering they've completely broken the money down for the big side.
So Edward already down pop, dog will hold. Smooya so far with the scout unable to find anyone. Good find from Flamey immediately as the AK used to good effect. Will open up the B site next so far back. There won't be any contest about a bomb plant. Tapson's going to try and rotate as he was pushed up Ivy all the way around behind them in hopes that he'll get a few exit kills. Maybe they carry some guns over. There's not really much else to be gained. Round's too far gone. The rest are on default.
Well, that eco victory is certainly taking the wind out of the German sails. I'll see the scouts being safe by the looks of things. This round is completely out of reach now for the big side. Tapson might get a chance to kill here. Gets the dink on Zeus, but nice shot by him from the AK. And we're going to see whether Smooya can hold on to it. In terms of their money, they get $1,900 next round. Still don't really have enough to buy. They'll be hovering just over 3K per player. What's going on here? Nice try, Cole.
Yeah, I was going to say no time. Just wanted to be slightly entertaining. We haven't seen one in a very long time, to be fair. And then Ninja in that full capacity. We've seen lots of smoke diffuses, but those, to be clear, are also not officially ninjas. The only time I'll say a smoke diffuse is a ninja is if, as soon as the bomb went down, somehow there's a guy in a smoke beside it who gets on it, and it's like 5 seconds after it's planted, it's diffused. That's pretty ninja. So 5-3 guns again for NaVi once more, just as they were on Dust 2. Big are very limited on the CT economy. They won a 4-spy to get them back into it on that map. This time it's going to take similar fate. Now, still have the lead when they get money back though, so a bit of room to work with. Tapson could find an electronic, but all for naught as Edward is easily able to take back the lead, and Zeus, it's Tapson.
Round 2. Actually doing quite well here. Adjusted Eagles. One player makes his way towards inside. That's Edward. He'll confirm the bomb side is completely clear. Simple. Eradicates next, and now Tizian. 3 versus 1, but he's on the other side of the map. He has, however, got an AK-47. The bomb not yet planted. Zeus is actually exploring towards that area. This could be another kill for Tizian. Not quite. Without the arm, you can see what we call aim punch come into effect. As soon as you get touched by any of the bullets, crossover will fly up, and it makes things very difficult in those sort of duels. Zeus, MVP of the round. Round 10. And we'll see Big start to slip away from the lead now. They were 5-1 up ever since they lost to those pistols, or the scout maybe. Oh my goodness, that is incredibly fast from Simple. What a flick that is. Fist bump's coming out.
Rubber wrists.
Indeed. Smooya with the AWP. They've got no kits, however. And is there a change of pace? Doesn't look like it was quite standard from both sides right now. Default from NaVi. No real aggression from the CTs. They did try that inside push once.
Edward sees the nade bouncing. Knows that someone was close enough with the smoke down. He won't be able to spot it, so gives up the thought. He's going to rotate all the way back through CT. Tizian's going to back off, being the only one in B at the exact moment that it looks encouraging that the bomb is going to head that direction from NaVi's perspective. Ball in the hands of Edward. Simple. AWP will hold the bottom of the ramp. Smoke in the sidewalk, let him get down there with no one to spawn again. There's not much contest directly in the site. Next, rotating back around, Big realizing that, oh, they have actually got a lead after we left. We'll have to wait for the retake. Tizian has good position. Electronic knows he's there. Better find. Wins the duel over the edge. Smoke at high means that Zeus will get away. And Smooya has to pull back this shot immediately to make it level, to give any chance to the retake. I think they're already reconsidering it. Tizian, though, does get Simple. Smooya's going to rotate back in. 2 men toward the ramp. And already, unfortunately, with no kits, they have to consider getting out with the AWP. They want to do as much damage as they can, but it's going to go 5-5. NaVi does just enough.
Lovely stuff there from NaVi, nothing too technical there, but the smoke down the lower ramp. Simple hitting the shots required there too for him in that particular round. The retake is Tizian, fair play to him. He gets all 3 kills that Big found, but wasn't quite enough, I'm afraid. He'll save the AK-47, and maybe even better news, Smooya has managed to save the AWP. The Smooya has looked relatively contained on this particular map. Simple, starting to get into the swing of things now. He's on 9 and 7. Smooya will have 4 kills and 5 deaths, so not looking as good as he did yesterday on train. It's around 11 here. The AWP is still going to be there. It's not going to be the force buy from Big, just CZs and those saved weapons from before, the AK and the AWP.
Lamy already in behind the train rather than back in the safety at the confines of the room that is A main. But he goes back off it, not spotting anyone running toward Pop Dog or getting aggressive toward E-Box, as is the intention by that position. Good nade. Lamy tagged down to 44 immediately. Was by Gobby, who was running up to get aggressive. CZ for him. Expecting flashes. Problem with his position is that no one's really watching toward A main to make sure that he's completely safe. He wants to play outside of Pop Dog rather than safely in it, because he thinks there's more danger in a flash coming down or 2 players dropping and overwhelming him, whereas right now at least he can control the peak. We haven't seen, just to note as well, from not just this game, but a lot of teams lately, no one's really been throwing that bounce Molotov off the window to clear out the backside of Pop Dog as much.
Yeah, that's true. Seems like it's gone out of fashion somewhat, but 45 seconds remaining here. Still is a chance of Big. They have 3 pistols, sure, but a Smooya AWP can come online at any second. Outside execution will be deployed here by the NaVi squad. Smooya and Gobby playing in front of them, though. Gobby specifically inside the Pop Dog room with the perfect weapon for this. CZ flashbang comes through. Does he get anything done? I think he gets at least 1 kill here. There it is. And Smooya has got a shooting gallery. He's found 2 kills so far. Simple bets him once more, but Tabson still fighting tooth and nail at the front line. Next will pull one back, and they've actually got the lead here, man. 2 versus 1 as Simple has a perfect flash, but he catches himself. And Next can't believe his luck. He comes out of the flash, and they've won the round. Smooya did exactly what he had to there, knowing an execution was very likely. He played the E-box. Gobby will soften them up and patrol towards the Pop Dog room. He gets the first kill at main entrance, finds a second as his teammates started to flank from the inside bomb site. Lamy, boom, had to eat that one.
Big, similar to how they did it on Dust 2, pull back. Weapons in their hands. They started with just pistols, and they continue on in the lead by 1 round only. Simple takes a bit of damage from an nade thrown out of Ivy. He knows they're up toward the server, but can't spot them in behind. Flash out. Again, he's just overstepped the mark. Flashed himself last time. This time, Zeus flashes him, but more to Simple's problem as he was 1 step too far.
Another default round here. AWP for Simple.
Smoke timing did not favor Godby's position at all. Caught out in A main, first kill goes the way of NaVi.
Absolutely so. What's the reaction though? The CTs want to probe for an inside push. Smooya's there with Tizian, could flash him over the brown halls and see whether they can take down Edward. As he starts to ascertain what's going on that side of the map. Smooya, there it is. Here's the reaction and a great shot. It works out for them. Edward drops and it goes back to the 4-on-4.
Back to the outer site. Tabson still trying to hold him off. Next is forward of the smoke that's at Sandwich. If he wanted the flash, he would be distracted. He's still looking that direction. He's got to be careful because Electronic is still working in from Ivy. Advantage goes the way of Big by Next getting a kill, but now they know exactly where he is toward Quad. Awkward exchange. Goes Tabson, but now it's all on Simple. 2 kills for him. He'll get the bomb toward Pop Dog, and he's got time just barely to run it to B.
Yeah, and that's exactly where he needs to go. Look at the positioning of the CTs right now, both hovering on the Ivy area. Tabson making his way towards T spawn. Tizian holds Ivy. Simple will get the bomb down, and this is his absolute bread and butter. 2 versus 1 clutch. He's got the AWP, some time to reposition. But will he anticipate the flank from behind? Tabson will completely destroy him there. AK to the back of the head. He didn't account for players coming from the lower ramp. They win the round. It's going to be 7-5 now. Tabson with 2 kills in the
Good
round.
spirits. Just hopes everyone has fun.
I hope both teams have fun. Is that what it says? That's quite nice. Me too. I'm sure Big are having a lot of fun. being able to stay competitive. They've already got a map under their belt. Taking down some of the biggest names of CSGO on their way here. I'm sure they've enjoyed every single moment of it. Simple, opening things up, but couldn't close them down. Double orb setup once again for the German squad, and NaVi. They do have enough to buy. I think a tactical timeout is required, and indeed it will be used here. 2 of them left. 7-5. They had such a difficult start into this map. They were 5-1 down. Then got a spree of 4 rounds in a row, but Big have stabilized now. After that great half-by victory of the AWP. Big now with 2 in a row, looking to win the half. Is there an AWP available for NaVi? It doesn't look like it. They're going to have 4 AKs, and Electronic will be left on the CZ. Just that age-old question with this squad. He's supposed to be one of your key fraggers in great form right now. You want to be giving him the AK-47 instead of potentially Edward or Zeus, but each to their own. And will be Electronic to work towards Ivy, and 3 players for NaVi to head towards the brown halls and look for maybe some more CT aggression that's been coming in as they use the flashbangs at the very start to push that back.
The second op seems to be more formidable and more common so far in this game because the economy has pulled back. tabseN was right in his positioning, but had no idea. Marginal was the nade. Execution onto A. Pop dog drop. Successful. Next has to play backside of the box. Good flash. Should be a kill. At least 1. He's got to be worried about A main, but he gets the kill in time. Not fast enough to get to Electronic. I thought there was a chance he would get his aim reset. He certainly was anticipating it correctly, but bomb was dropped temporarily. With 56 seconds, they've recovered it already. They may even get the plant because Tizian's boost comes up a little bit late, and he sprays far side. That gave his position up to Electronic. Doesn't matter because tabseN already found the kill back onto Simple. Electronics left alone. Good find. Knew that there had to be a second because Smoothie was the one to put him above. Now he's just got it down to a 1-on-1. 3 kills already for Electronic. 2 for tabseN, who comes out better in the round. It's tabseN. Good shoulder bait. And a great shot to follow.
That's fantastic by tabseN. 3 kills in the round. What a tournament he's having. It was next to get in the first couple of kills there. That nice position by the Pop Dog. He played just behind the boxes. It means the terrorists want to commit to your frag on you. They have to swing wider. Next got 2 in that position. You can also watch towards A main. Round 14 coming through, and it's now 3 rounds in a row for Big. Money still not on the perfect state for NaVi, but there's the final kill from tabseN. That's a high-pressure moment. Close range AWP pick is not easy. You see Simple getting very frustrated with this. A lot of emotions here. As Electronic tries to get the first frag, actually Smoothie will be into the punch. He bets Simple once again. And there we have it, another 5 versus 4. It's from the upper ramp angle once again.
tabseN takes out Zeus. So 3 AKs left to work with and not a lot of map control. They at least get down Pop Dog, but they've still got to go through the doorway. A doorway that is wide open, inviting. In fact, tabseN's not going to do anything with that AWP, is he? He's moved off the angle for now.
Time will tell. 5-on-3. This is a full investment room from NaVi. AK's available, but only 2 smokes remain. Flamey will have to wait if he's going to try and get a frag from the Pop Dog area. CT still with 1 smoke, make it 2. Smoothie looking towards that upper round. That's exactly where the bomb is. Electronic just waiting for an outside fake, from what I'd imagine. So Edward smokes towards the green train. He's trying to force a rotation. While his teammate Electronic, that will do quite nicely. He takes down Nex. And now the bomb getting ready to go in up. It's going to be facing out of the upper ramp right now. Finds the kill. Tizian can't believe it. Smoothie has left him, and the bomb will be planted. Things are equalized from the 5-on-3 to now 3-on-3.
All due to patience from NaVi. Dissect the defense, isolate them. And now with the bomb down, a chance to set up in the post plant as well. Just to note, no Molotovs. Saw yesterday, To what good effect Big were able to use those. Awkwardly almost. Smoke goes onto it, but this may actually favor Electronic if they think, okay, he's going to move out of it. I was going to say, if they think they can get toward a defuse or be cheeky inside of that, he was already holding the angle. In fact, going aggressive, he's able to find not only Smoothie, but turn around and find Gottby as well.
What a recovery from NaVi. They lost the first 2 picks there, but hook, line, and sinker, that fake is absolutely spot on. Edward had to find at least 1 kill there. The smoke was to buy him a bit of space. He comes out, completely rails next towards the E-box, and then at that point, Electronic helps himself towards the inside bomb site. That was designed to remove Smooya from the equation of the inner bomb site, and my God, did it ever work. Final round of the first half here, Matt, and Big have nothing but pistols. They've won plenty of these sort of rounds, though, today. NaVi have not looked their best.
Ian spotted. Deep Molotov, he'll back off. Watching behind him, expecting flashes. He knows they've dropped down, they spot him pushing back in. So they're spraying toward him. Edward rather jarringly takes him down when he repeaks. So too Simple finds Smooya as he tried to flank it out. Scout shot lands. Fortunately, next Burns alive for trying. 8-7 for the 3rd straight map. Looking like our halftime scoreline. Again, it'll be Big that has the lead, as they did do on Dust 2. Remember, they were 1 back on Overpass. Maybe there's something in that, but it's going to be NaVi switching over to the CT side of Train. Got B, but Simple gets the knife. He's been looking for one for a while. We saw him on the first map. He's been waiting for a chance to do so. Pulls it off, and it's 8-7 indeed.
Absolutely is. Big. It's not the best half they could have got, but another 8-7 scoreline. Definitely keeps them in it. Remember, this is actually NaVi's pick. We'll see what the second half has in store. Considering NaVi on the T side, 7 rounds, they'll be happy with that. That's absolutely fine, enough to work with, absolutely. But they have been a little bit lackluster in the pistol rounds in the last couple of maps. We'll see if they can recover from that as they go onto the CT side now. Game's on a knife edge. Again, they get a slight advantage towards NaVi, considering they swap over to the CT sides. Now we're going to have 2 smokes and a few flashbangs to work with. Tabson is going to have a P250 armor combo. We talked about that on Dust 2. Gives him extra range and suggests they go towards inside because he wants to get down that lower ramp and start challenging towards a connector while his teammates make their way through. That's where they'll head for now.
Zeus gets aggressive toward the stairs. He's going to have company first. CZ on a pistol round.
Oof. Because he knows he'll be in this position, close range.
Armorless.
I think it's clear. Oh, they didn't check it properly. They sent 2 players away.
Good news is Simple's close enough by. If they all commit, Zeus is able to pull them in. Carrot stick. Simple would be able to jump up behind them. Boost for Tizian. Smoothie, rather. Tabson, one of them. Tabson goes up the spot towards the connector. Does see one. P250. Does he get the shot off? Tries to. Can't hit Edward in the head from that range. Tabson takes a little bit of damage in return. Simple's still unwilling to move. Hasn't had his invite yet. They need to be committed. They need to be fully fixed upon the B site for him to have any chance of making that work. And the fact that they pushed the CT so far back as well means it's likely that one player will be expecting it, turned around to watch.
Here comes the inside play. Smooya, the only player towards the upper ramp. Remember, Tabson, as we said, given the PD-50 to find his long-range duels while the bomb gets planted. Edward and Zeus are there. It's that CZ for Zeus. Can he get any damage done with it? I don't think he will. He will be dropped at that point. Bomb to be planted. And this is looking perfect from Big. They're pushing down towards that connector, but Simple is still alive and kicking. You know what that means. Headshots are coming, but this time he'll be the one receiving it. Electronic 3 versus 1, and it looks like he might be done because they've got him contained in towards the connector itself.
Good find on Nex, down to a 1 versus 2. Bomb's planted. He hasn't picked up a kit as of yet. I don't think there was one. Zeus said the CZ rather than the kit would to go along with the smoke, so he might be on his own in this situation. So much as time is concerned, as Tabson tries to climb up the ladder, he has been tagged once, but Electronic's going to back it off. He just wants to keep his armor at this point in time. 8-7 turns to 9. Big taking advantage early on the T side.
Pretty much exactly as we described it at the start. Default at the very beginning. Wait for that CT aggression, see if there's any different plays being presented. Once you confirm they're in a default formation, Get ready to go inside, smoke down, flash over. Try and isolate the anchor of the bomb site. And once you've done that, you've got a couple of smokes down. They're nice and deep. You can actually get towards the connector with the flashbangs. And at that point, Glock versus USP, and you're right in their faces. The Glock actually will come out on top. Smooya, that's a tremendous shot from him. And Simple couldn't do anything about it. Another pistol round in favor of Big here. If you are just joining us, it's the grand final here at ESL 1 Cologne 2018. And a best of 5 final, and currently split right down the middle, one map apiece. This is the third. It's NaVi's pick, but Big are no strangers to this map. We saw them beat FaZe here yesterday. And that was also FaZe's pick. So people are...
Well, and you because you mentioned that FaZe, peculiarly enough, had picked a tactical map against GovB. It's not really something you would expect to catch him off on.
It's not so much the fact it's a technical map, it's just the fact there's no options to get into Angels in the CT side. You just have to wait for them to commit, and they're such a slow team that focuses on fakes and utility usage. It seems like it's a perfect environment for a team like Big. I would stay away from this if I had the option. I wouldn't pick it ever. And it will be Simple now to be challenged. Another pistol goes away from them. They are going to be force buying here in the second round, of course. Simple dropped the scout by Flamey this time. So he gets some armor to go with his sniper.
Seven, just to note. For electronics, so we see another one. Tizian. Oh. Takes damage trying to get that Molotov in. Scout shot from Simple lands, puts him on a 3-7. Meanwhile, in the site gives more room for the take. GovB, smoke off left, cross side smoke with Tapson. Right, and then they go. Smooya's in. Good find. Immediately dispatches Flamey. Still holding on. GovB to find Zeus. Remember as well, he was tagged. Tizian's on 23. They'll still try and get back around. Electronic has found one to make it slightly more awkward. As Tizian taps in, GovB as well, all low, but have this down to a 4 versus 2 with bomb planted. Tapson has also snuck up and gotten away from them. Simple goes looking. Next is able to strike, and another round. This will now be 10 for Big.
4-on-2, Edward and Electronic can't do anything about this whatsoever. Nice work by Big. They took a lot of damage, as you can see, but only gave away 1 kill. Fantastic stuff. Inside execution, absolutely perfect. They're left with no utility. They want to make sure they eradicate every single possibility in terms of CT positioning. There might be 1 more kill here for Edward. We'll see. He's got players going towards him. No chance. Next will take him down. Nice stuff from him. 2 kills around. Electronic will survive on 1 point of health. 2-0 as Big negates the force buy of NaVi. Has to be the full eco now. So that is Both pistols in favor of Big. They managed to get a 4-0 start on the CT side. That was fantastic before dropping to the force by NaVi. So now they've got pretty much full control of this situation. There's about a 5% chance NaVi can win this round. They've got PT50s, one PT50 and a 5.7, no armor. Electronic did buy a kit though. Oh, he must have survived, he didn't.
Yeah,
Right.
he absolutely did. Saved over the armor for the first 2 rounds, in fact. And Electronic is going to make good with his pistol, so too is Edward. Sobering moment within the crowd as they realize, hang on, this round is a bit of a contest all of a sudden. 3 versus 3. Gabi at least gets a kill back in return. 3 AKs versus an AK picked up.
Yeah, wow.
As well as an MP7.
This is looking a lot more possible now.
Yes, it is. At that range with the AK, it certainly is. They have to commit to that bomb as well, which means they push down the ramp. That exposes Gabi's feet first. Tizian has a Molotov and a smoke, but no bomb to work with, and he's going to get overrun. Electronic saving everything, including the armor, was able to get overrun at the start of the round to get the gun that ends up getting 3 kills.
I'm not sure why they wouldn't use the utility they had. They still had smokes and Molotovs and flashes, and they decided to run down the lower ramp with absolutely nothing. That was a pretty horrendous call. They could have just slowed it right down. 3-on-3, they still don't have armor. You can still play it like a normal round. You don't have to run into a bomb site and hope for the best. As Big, throw it away. It will be NaVi recovering the situation. They win on the 3rd round full eco. That's so bizarre. But the AWP is now in the hands of Simple. It's a force buy from Big here. AKs, Galil, and a couple of pistols.
X out, smokes down everywhere. Given a massive free kick to NaVi, but they might take it back. Simple does slide out to find Tabson. Can't. Oh, I take that back. I was going to say can't hit Gabi. Does catch it before he gets toward the E-box. Spray down from Electronic gives away his position. However, and Smooya is able to capitalize, but look at the HP, and now it's just Smooya with only 10. Can't find the spray onto Zeus. Another round. Good recovery from NaVi, considering the first 2 kills got carried away.
Edward with the whiff of the tournament there, that could have got a little bit out of hand. Luckily, Simple was there to pick up the pieces. He was flash, he just did recover, but he had a good 3 seconds to nail that first kill. It will be around $2,000 per player on the Big side as NaVi look to tie things up here. Locks pretty much only, they've got a PT50 there now a Deagle. And 20, and NaVi will be pretty aware they're up against the eco here. No one needs to push or commit to a solo frag. Just hold up, get that man advantage and fall back to hold a different line. Simple, that's what he's aiming for. Lands the shot but not the smoke. Still fine though, it's not ideal, but he'll hold them on.
Smooya, meanwhile, not much to say in it. He'll start to gather with his teammates. He's found by Simple actually through the wall. I think that came, it did. That was through eviction. Smooya's already saying nice shot. He put it through the wooden wall and caught him at the top of the stairs at Brown Halls.
That's pretty funny. Well, there you go.
You named it eviction. I thought you'd know what I meant.
I think that was you, but it's a nice name. It will be 5-on-4. And remember, no armor, no nades here. It's Big who are taking a long time with this one, but remember, you can use it as a timeout of sorts, and you can bleed out the utility of the CTs. It's quite frustrating to play against. You can get impatient because they're being so slow. And that's the idea.
Flamey, good spray. Gets 2, and then Simple arrives to take out Tabson. We are knotted up at 10 on this map 3. The series tied as well, just in case you're joining us. 1-1. Big struck back on Dusk 2. We haven't seen a chance for for Lagia to go as crazy. I know the admin's told him to tone it down a little bit, but even since then, there hasn't been too many rounds to really get excited about on their side.
There we have it. MP9 for Edward. This is their sort of bonus round now. As we get into round number 21, we're all tied up 10-10. Who will be getting a 2-1 lead in the best of 5? This is NaVi's pick. It'll be a disaster to give it away. For now, Holding up very slow as expected. No wall for Smooya. Just waiting for the initial utility to dissipate. Let's see what's available to them. Flashbang there towards the lower ramp. Zeus will be pushed off.
Pushed off, but goes all the way back in the B site. Electronic and Simple to play together. They'll not even bother holding on the spool. So a full change of scenery as Simple takes the op to a position of rotation at Z connector.
It's designed to give Tizian a silent drop down, but here we go, the commitment towards outside. It's Simple, Electronic going to town on Big here. It's now a 4 versus 2, God B. He's left with no grenades here and no manpower, and they'll be punished for it. 30 seconds, Simple. He's surely going to get this one as well. What a shot that is! Takes down God B, and they'll take the lead, 11-10. Presumably that's money gone. We've got 4 save loss bonus for Big, but no bomb plants in the last 4 rounds.
Well recovered, cameraman. Simple. Good read, good react. As we said, he backed the AWP off the B site. Didn't want to be in the equation when they started to use utility and push him out, render him useless. He goes back over the way, gets one, and rotates back to find the 2 closing kills. He's starting to come alive. He hasn't had the impact you might have expected from him. Certainly not that he's had throughout the course of this event. He's now at 23 kills, 3 above Electronic on his team, and Gobby, who's also on 20 on the other side after the fantastic start. Remember, I think he had, what was it, 11 kills on round 4?
Not really much to do here. They can take a partial buy for sure, considering they get the maximum loss bonus into the next round. That's going to be $3,400 per player. They currently have about 2K, so they can afford some CZs, PD50s, maybe a couple of Deagles. Want to spice things up. They're not going to get armor though. Very conservative buy. That one smoke again suggests to me they'll smoke down that lower ramp and try and trade out a frag towards inside. Get that plant. And see if they can get some extra cash. Smooya hasn't really had the AWP in the second half so far. He did, I would say, best Simple on Dust 2, but Simple has recovered and looking much better here on Train.
Dink put it through the wall. Very, very minor damage. So the 1-round lead for NaVi and pistols for Big. Gobby. Tricks does he have up his sleeve this time? He's got the only smoke left. Tizian to hold things together, well removed from the rest of his team out toward Ivy. He backs off that position, having already made contact without the success of a kill. A run down from a utility again, going to be the name of the play, but it's not going to be flashes this time. It's going to be one smoke toward B that they hope is enough. So far it is to rotate Simple, but he's realized it and gone back. Edwards already posted, they overrun him. They can get toward his AK, but not if Simple holds the angle with the AWP. I don't think he's realized that fast enough. So they get it up. It's in the hands of Tizian, who's tagged, lagged through the edge of the train, and Electronic's easily able to put him down as a result. Gobby, however, has gotten them the money they require. So in the end, it does kind of work out.
Yeah, that's a full eco pretty much, and they didn't have armor or any nades, one smoke, and they get a plant and maybe 2 kills. Maybe. There it is. That's an expensive one to get. Simple goes down. They can recover the AWP, and there's no chance really Gobby can win the round. But this is making things kind of interesting. That's given his teammates an extra $800 per player. They've bled out another kill and some more utility there. So I'd say that's very successful eco coming in from Big. They're going to have money for days here. They definitely get the AWP out on Smooya. But he's had a quiet game by his standards. He's on 12 at 17 right now.
Problem is that now with 5 rounds in a row for NaVi, Zeus has 12,000, almost 13,000. Simple post buy has 9,600.
Indeed.
So 3 rounds at least to break them down, not to mention that in doing so, you're giving them the bonus building up. It's almost impossible at this point. It takes a while to wear that sort of economy out.
Did you say it was Inferno is the next map?
Inferno is the next map.
Oof, that's where you'd say NaVi have a firm advantage. They can steal away Train. You'd be worried for Big in the next map, but they have shown themselves to have a decent Inferno as well. Here we go then, Simple picking towards the brown horse. Flashbang is decent, the shot narrowly misses out. He goes down to 51 HP, jumps safely to the spools there. Doesn't take any damage from that. So, nice idea, couldn't quite stick the landing. Initial kill does not go in his favor, actually takes most of the damage, and Smooya will remove Electronic from the equation as well. Nice play by him, that was right in there towards Ivy.
Flamey. Engulfed, forced out. One with fire, though, goes back to clear the same position and takes down Gabi, dropping in. He also had to wait for the flames to extinguish. He was hoping he could beat Flamey back to that position. Force him out, get down there just as he's repeaking, but as we saw, Flamey kept the timer on that mentally as well, and actually went in before it was fully extinguished. He got the first tick time perfectly. Still, though, 4 versus 4. Zeus realizes they've gone out toward the back tracks. The smoke he can see above, he finds next. They still, though, can work this through CT and try and catch off Simple. Very tight angle on the AWP. They spotted him on the cross. He's aware of it. Has to change his position. Even though they got the information, he's still able to back off and find Tizzy. And Tabson, meanwhile, though, has gone in from above. He's going to be completely surrounded. In fact, he's not even going to get anywhere because Smooya is all that's left. He gets Simple, but they're going to chase him down. 5 seconds, bombs drop. No chance to win the round. It's all about saving the op and not losing any more money. He has to get away alive, and I was just saying, I think he will. Zeus just barely missed the shot.
Well, there we go. There is still plenty of cash, believe it or not, with that nice plant on the full eco before. They still have reasonable cash. Smooya doesn't get the extra, but he did save the AWP. So, don't have the woods just yet, NaVi. They are getting very close, though, towards that map point. 13 to 10. You would give him the favor here, considering on the CT side. Simple with some tremendous shots there. Definitely starting to get stuck in the grand final here. Tabson going towards those brown hordes, and they know Zeus plays in that alone. And whether we want to admit it or not, that's always going to be a weakness if he's completely alone. It's an area they'll be very interested to investigate towards. That's where they're going to go right now.
Time goes low. Good timing. Got beat down. Tabson does trade it off, though, so Zeus on the ground means chance for plant. Edward unfortunately finds Tabson, but again, that's traded, so it still works out okay. The problem is now it's Simple to get next. Bomb's not yet gone down, which becomes a problem. Smooya hesitant to go toward it is going to be found shortly. Man, oh, my goodness. If Smooya hit that, that would have been abusive mechanics, would it not?
Yeah, that was actually kind of scary for Electronic. He saw Smooya scope up, jump off. It felt like he was going to connect, but not quite. Tizzy now alone, and another 2 versus 1. A couple so far. Bomb not planted, of course. It's just by the bomb site. Simple and Electronic trying to get close as they can toward. Oh my god, that's such an awkward position for the bomb. How's he going to do this? Maybe if Electronic presents himself, but he does hit the shot. 2 kills are Simple, 2 for Electronic and Zeus with nothing. That's the problem. That's why Big are going towards that position. But Simple as the backup and towards the connector does save the day. And that's pretty massive considering that's now 7 rounds in a row for NaVi. No bomb going down in the last couple. You can see Smooya, we talked about his reactions here. Seems like a very emotional player. Can't let it affect him too much. Needs to keep his head in the game.
After winning pistol, getting shut down in round 3. Now 7 in a row for NaVi to not only have pulled this back into the favor, but almost have it done as they have a chance for map point. Edward's going to take down next. He'll follow that up, find Smooya as well. And him we haven't said far too often in this game, but yet still has 19 kills, does Edward. Flamey's been the quiet one, 8 only for him. He's again able to find him, so it's not been the best map for him. They might still get away without his massive impact as they often need. Gabi gets Zeus, Simple finds Gabi. It is indeed map point for NaVi. Last-ditch effort to play for overtime from Big, and they're going to call a timeout immediately.
It makes sense. 1 round away from defeat here. They need 5 in a row to grind out overtime. I don't think that's going to happen here. They've only won 2 rounds of the T side so far, Matt, and that was the pistol in the second round follow-up. They lost to a full eco in the 3rd round, and since then haven't gotten their feet whatsoever. Not looking as potent on train as they did yesterday. Round 26, a decent scoreline for them. They've got deep into the game, but Simples look way too comfortable. He's posting numbers like 29 and 16. Electronic with 24. Joel B had an amazing start to the map. Remember, by round 7, he had, what, like 16 kills? As the half has gone on, he's found 5 kills in the second half, so his impact has dropped off somewhat. Tabson's only had 2 kills this half, Matt, and we're really deep into it, so the star players like that not really having amazing amounts of impact is obviously going to be a problem. Money hasn't been fantastic for them. The unpause comes through, Smooya on the AWP.
Wow, Zeus again is the king of flashes. He's flashed over 19 in the first half, way above anyone else. He seems to be a touch ahead. Tizian's ahead of the play this time, though, pushing out on Ivy. They get the first kill. All important to keep this game alive, as Zeus is going to hold the corner as well. Godby the challenge. In-game leader versus in-game leader, and one holding a grenade makes it a rather easy fight for Zeus. That pulls us back level at 4s as Tabson tries to trade it, but he's already long gone.
That's going to be so frustrating now. So they've lost the in-game leader, and you can see they were setting up for some sort of take there. They've now lost one of the players and a smoke. As Smooya will be boosted up, we saw this before. It's quite rare to see this position get a kill. As the nade comes in as well. Oh my goodness, that did so much damage. An absolute touchdown there. Tabson, my goodness, taking over 50. As we get into the final minute, this could be the round that finishes it all off and give NaVi the 2-1 lead in this best of 5.
Big in front of the home crowd. Done so well. Knocking out so many legends along the way, but NaVi, the final boss, and might back the lead, as you say. We'll go to Inferno. It's Flamey to hold off toward quad. All important passage to the approach on the A site. Smooya, meanwhile, he's gone. Hasn't had the money for the ops, so hasn't been able to get the opening kills with it. Next, Molotov to E-Box is going to run directly by. Keep in mind, Flamey's just waiting. He can still swing out if they don't want to take over Hell, if they don't want to take the quad position. It's going to give him all the room in the world to work, and here he goes. 9 seconds, they're on the plant. They're going to get it down because he's watching toward H, but Flamey finds it, swings. They never even challenged him. They gave him far too much to work with, and he walks out from Sandwich, and my God, is it ever tasty. Just Smooya to find 1 versus 2, and he's gone already. NaVi, 2-1, will take the lead.
8-7 and a half, but as soon as they go into the CT forces, they absolutely run away with the game. Big tried everything they could, but couldn't break down that defense whatsoever. It was way too strong on the CT side, Matt. They tried to bully inside as much as they could, and they were convincing. They actually found kills on Zeus, but every time Simple would rotate in, he completely destroyed them. He gets 30 kills there, and that does set the tone for Inferno quite dramatically.
Dramatic indeed. There can be a lot of tactics brought to the fold when you're on a map like Inferno. We'll see if Godby has anything up his sleeve, but it is NaVi. With the firepower on all cylinders, it's Simple again that was impressive. We'll take a break. We'll be back.
ESL 1 Cologne is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, MSI, DHL, Alienware, Betway, Logitech G, and Pay Safeguard.
Germany's heritage of Counter-Strike greatness cries out for an heir worthy of its legacy. Gob B was the last mastermind to lead that proud nation to a major. And with Big, he seeks to develop a new core to similar heights. Tabson is the star talent of this crew, and spent last year elevating them to the status of dangerous underdog. Next is the erratic but undeniably talented wildcard Big relies upon to provide them with the requisite firepower to make a splash. Newcomer Smuya is the undisciplined but exciting prospect Gob must shape into Europe's next star if Big are to again soar to the heights of international playoff finishes. A focused hierarchy, precision timings, detailed plans. Classics never go out of fashion, and Big embody the spirit of tactical Counter-Strike in a new era of play. The home crowd awaits a favorite to cheer for, and Big seeks to fill those mighty shoes.
And they've certainly started strong. They managed to get themselves to the grand final stage, but already NaVi do manage to find that lead once again. This best of 5 gets interesting now as NaVi hold 2-1 over Big. Before we break it down ourselves, we have a rare opportunity. Trace has gone backstage and looks like he's found an analyst or two.
In fact, I have, Alex. You are quite certainly onto something. I'm standing here with the analyst from Big Clan, and right away, I just want to go ahead and get this one out there. Are you the real coach, or is Legia?
I mean, we kind of share the coaching role. I mean, I'm with the team while we practice. He's behind the team because he's like more motivational, and of course he has a lot of in-depth, but I'm like more in the background coaching the team while practicing, and he's like behind the guys at the stage.
So doing all the real hard work. Now, speaking of real hard work, let's talk about train. What did you notice with your team that needs to change going into Inferno?
Yeah, I mean, we had a weak CT side again. I mean, we always had like troubles on CT side. We had a lot of like fixed T side strats, so it didn't work out. I think we hit a lot of times B where we maybe should have like more faked it, but I mean, they played really good. It's just really hard to play on T side train if they like stand really good, if Simple hits their shots. And going into Inferno, we just need to play our game again, what we showed on the other matches, and we're just really confident that we win Inferno.
Last question I have for you, man. I'm going to let you get back to your team. A player like Smuya, he's a little younger and seeming a little bit more emotional when it comes to losing rounds or even having that sort of impact. How do you guys go about maybe taming the situation? Is that the best way to say it, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, there again, like Legia comes in there. I mean, he can give great motivation speeches. We just try to motivate him again. We say, keep your head up. This is like your second big stage that you were on. Don't worry, we got your back. Just like try to stay calm, perform, and that's basically what we try to tell him.
Well, I'm going to let you do just that with your boys. I think all of Cologne is rallying behind Big Clan right about now. And with that, of course, Alex and the boys are going to try to make some sense of this before we head into Inferno.
That's the plan. Thank you very much. That's Kakafu, of course, who actually gives us a little bit of insight as to where that T side disappeared from Big. Just 2 rounds from them.
Yeah, Matt also got the answer to his question. Coach or cheerleader seems like cheerleader, man.